Welcome back to Metropole Grid. I'm Xandre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is the 20th of August, 2026, a Thursday evening, unlike all others. I trust you well. We're back once again. Yo, Eric. Hey, Grid. How's it going? Morning, Bentel. How's the Friday? David, I got here early. Does anyone know the actual starting time? No, I don't. If you do, kindly let me know. That'd be useful. I've been starting at random times. This seems so confrontational. I don't know why. It was just a bit for a second and then it got bad. How's everyone doing? Look, I just don't understand the nerve of some people, you know? Thursday night, 8 o'clock. It's a shared time space now. There's, the Métropole Grid starts. There's also a measured response. That's a cool one, right? That ends just about now. That's good. We can coexist. But imagine that. Thursday night, 8 p.m. to do a live show. So people can come in and watch you and ask questions on a stage, a live show, measured response ShadowNet. In my neighborhood. Literally Thursday at 8 in my neighborhood. These clowns are showing up to compete with such a sacred time slot. For those that don't know, it looks like there's doing a live show, measured response ShadowNet at a theater like 3 blocks away from where I live, which is really funny. Probably will be there. But yeah, anyways, that's happening. That's in my neighborhood, the whole world's, and that's the place they chose. I mean, it makes sense. Worlds is here. How's everyone doing? It's I'm gonna have to ask for some crowd participation to some extent, because the deck list of the week is the Classique list. This is meant to be what is it, Clan Vengeance MaxX versus Sportsmetal. Where are the deets? There's no deets yet. I think it's just announced to be like, keep this in mind. But the Thursday night, which also I want to say at Worlds, like here in Montreal, on the Thursday before Worlds, I'm pretty sure there's a meetup. So I think a lot of people are going to be meeting up. I'm assuming at a Randolph pub. I'm not 100% sure. I need to look into it. I've not been very active on the World's Discord. But there's usually like a night where everyone can come in and like play games and have fun and drink if you do that and have food and stuff. So that's on a Thursday night. But also on a Thursday night, there's going to be a thing. So the details are as vague as that is. I technically know the venue, but I'm not going to announce it because it's not up to me. Just crash their event and talk over them. I mean, maybe we'll just do our own. We'll do our own one across the street at the, the competing theater. We'll do a live show. It'll be sick. They'll be invited, of course. They'll know. Invasion. So if you're not familiar with Classique, Classique is a format in which you play these two decks that are pre-constructed versus each other that are meant to be like a snapshot of a period of time in which we have at some point played Netrunner. This snapshot is from, I want to say 2017 to 2019. He reads the first sentence. I was playing back then. I've been playing for all of Classique just about. Actually, from 2018 Nationals, Clan, Max versus Come On and Slam. So the idea is that this is eternal. It's not like constructed eternal. This was just like a deck you could play. And it's so funny because there's pieces of this deck that don't make a lot of sense. Just because they're weird pieces of powerful cards that existed back then. Like Surveyor is a card you might not know of because, well, it's not in standard anymore. But there was like a year and a half where Surveyor was the strongest ice in the format, and your deck had to be like, how do you solve Surveyor? And then like Boomerang came out, and it wasn't really a thing anymore. But this was an ice that was like one of the few scaling ice in the format that actually got bigger the later the game went, which, I mean, that's pretty cool. And there's a lot of cheesy decks that just made one tall server as quickly as possible. Now for this deck, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, it's not a Glacier deck. This is like a fast advance or like kind of jammy deck. So I don't get the Surveyor in here. We talked about this on Tuesday. Architect is the original drafter. It is much stronger in a lot of different ways. It's a bit more expensive. It has a bit more text, but you kind of know one, you know the both of them. We have Toll Booth, OG core set, 8 cost, code gate, end the run, lose 3 credits on face check, or even on like on encounter, which is strong text. I forget who was saying this, but there was this litmus test to be like, if Toll Booth is a playable card in the standard format is healthy, which I actually kind of, I subscribe to that idea. It's a fun idea. So anyways, Toll Booth is in here, which seems really expensive. We have Enigma, the most worlds winning card of all time. Citation super needed. At least they used to be for a while. Just the goat of a little code gate. Lose a click, end the run. Nice to have a face check on a code gate. We have Gatekeeper, also a goat of a code gate. This thing, the turn comes in, it's a mighty 6 strength code gate. Imagine a 6 strength code gate in 2026. And has really good subroutines. as much as the shuffle is forced, which is like a fun little wrinkle you can kind of capitalize on. But eventually it's a 0 strength code gate, which gives you a lot of interesting ways to tackle this problem, as much as cards in hand is an issue for the runner if the corporation gets them. And then, of course, Fairchild 3.0, one of the worst face checks of all time, the only ever 3.0 buy ride the history of Netrunner's seen. And this card eventually just got banned, if I'm not mistaken. It was restricted for a long time too. But this card is just like, if you don't run on click 1, enjoy hell, because you're going to lose 6 credits and then end the run, which like is an awful face check on an ice that costs 6 credits. Now, these two are the runner's choice. This is the corp's choice. So usually the corp ends the run because the Fairchild makes sense. But Duke 1 core damage, I mean, if the thing doesn't matter, I guess you can do that every once in a while. Finally, vanilla. Yep, you get the joke. It ends the run, that's it. And then we have 2 IP block, which is also a goat of an ice. If this is like the one influence card you played to deal with AI breakers, because if the runner encounters this and they have an AI, they just take a tag, which is really good text, because this subroutine says end the run if the runner's tagged. Now, otherwise, if the natural runner interacted with this, it was trace 3. So if they didn't have a link, they're spending about 3 credits. And then if successful, give a tag, which means the thing will end the run. Now, when you face checked into IP block, if you could pay 3, you would always pay 3, because clearing a tag costs a click and 2 credits, which is akin to spending 3 and no clicks, at least at a minimum. But IP block was just like such a good answer for 4 strength barrier, as much as you only had to break 1 subroutine usually. Just such a cool ice. I miss ice like this. This ice is really fun. Hello, new Classique decks. Yeah, these are new. So if I'm not mistaken, this weekend is the EMEA Continentals at Nottingham, and there is a Classique portion of the event that you can play Classique decks. I'm assuming Cobra Bubbles made a whole bunch of these decks for Nottingham. I don't know how this ended up as the deck list of the week, but it's kind of cool, right? I forgot how Busto Ice used to be. Odergun. Yeah, we used to have some cool ice. We still do have cool ice, but Sunny made IP barrier meaningless. I mean, that's the way the trace was, but now you'd still be okay playing IP block. It wasn't the worst, but like, yeah, Sunny made everything that was trace based pretty bad. This was still a very, very good card. You'd play it for sure. I do think I played Sunny decks with Amakua though. So like IP block was not super useless, or more accurately, I played security Nexus decks that have Amakua in it, which makes this really, really good. What did HB do with tags back then? That's a good question. Nothing. Literally nothing. HB did not have, if I'm not mistaken, relevant tag punishment until like Null Signal Games put out Greasing the Palm. We can double check if that's true, but they had nothing really. The idea was that if they have a tag, this ends the run. So that's good enough, but also you can trash resources. I know back in the day when I was playing Engineering the Future, and there was a lot of criminals that would just like account siphon you. Account siphon is basically a transfer of wealth, except instead of being a 9 credit swing, it's a 15 credit swing. And that's wild. And then you took 2 tags. But the thing is, you're playing HB, so they didn't care. They'd be like, I'll float the tags. It doesn't matter. Is this working? Slowly. So I would play like a closed account at an HB deck and really upset someone. So yeah, HB didn't have like meaningful tag punishment ever, if I'm not mistaken. I'm glad I didn't encounter Fairchild 3.0 by that time. I didn't have much time to play. It was a complex flavor. Yeah, there was Fairchild 1, Fairchild 2, and then they kept printing. They were like, Fairchild 1, we're like, okay. Then the next pack, it was a Fairchild 2, and we're like, oh, that's kind of fun. Then they printed Fairchild 3, and we're like, what's going on? And then they printed Fairchild period, and everyone was like, yeah, you don't need this. Fairchild 3 is so good. Fairchild 1 was actually, like, Fairchild 0 was not very good. New Classique decks. I don't mean to offend you by asking, no, me neither. I just thought it was funny. Metropole Neon Static live show. Yo, Thursday night, Eric, at 8:05. We'll rent out the Montreal Olympic Stadium. It's gonna be so killer. I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, but the idea of voluntarily experiencing Clan Vengeance again is wild to me. I mean, it can be a nuanced card if it doesn't get out of control, for sure. I missed my flight to EMEA and had to go back home because I couldn't justify the fee. Don't remind me of that happening. Proficiency. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like this weekend, huh? I'm really sorry to hear that. That's an absolute bummer. Hopefully you're doing okay. Hey, Tony, how's it going? I already booked it. Perfect. What a budget. I mean, they're still trying to pay off that building, so they'll take any takers. Bellstride 3 is probably the reason K2CP was created. No, I don't think those cards ever existed at the same time. Fairchild 3, I think, was banned by then. I think this card got banned for the last part of its life. Netrunner DB is not loading well, so be patient with me if you can. What else am I going to do with this poker chip money? How many did you send out this week? I know the poker chips are out there. This list is Sportsmetal, which is a really fun ID for a big time. So there used to be this identity or this idea that when you go to a tournament and you didn't know what to play, you played Panic Polana. Polana was a Jinteki identity that just gave you free credits every once in a while when the runner drew a card. It was fun. And Jinteki Glacier, mid-range Glacier, was like fun enough, not super taxing to play. And people enjoyed it because it had a bit of everything. Defensive upgrades, ooh, cool agendas, net damage, sick. But then for a while, Polana didn't exist in Standard. And so if you ever went to a tournament, the Panic deck, the average corporation player would play would be Sportsmetal. Because it can just be fast, it can be fast advance, it can be combo, you can just play good, HB and win worlds in 2022. But like Sportsmetal was like the comfort pick for many corporations for a long time. It's also cool because it gives you agency, and it gives you agency on your opponent's turn, and you can actually make really meaningful decisions. Whenever an agenda is scored or stolen, gain 2 credits or draw 2 cards. Not uncommon that you'd play a lot of small agendas, so like Hyperloop Extension is a 5 credit steal. That's like really good for you. Or you can get 3 credits and draw 2 cards, which honestly is a bit better. So you felt okay even when you lost on turn 1, and I like that a fair bit. This list has Arc Lockdown, which might be relevant in the Classique matchup. This card just removes all copies of a named card from the discard pile, and very notably, runners were installing breakers straight from their discard pile. So if you Arc Lockdown all their Paper Clips or MK Ultras or Black Orchestras, it was a huge issue, and you could hate out recursion from events that were coming back. I'm not sure exactly what the 2018 meta looked like on that. We have 3 Biotic Labors, just nano management. This is what it used to be called. This card is as old as 1996. We have 1 IPO, a card I miss. Well, Neutral Economy, it's a 5 credit econ play, but it ends your turn. So you have to do it last click, which I think is like really fun text, especially for the idea of what an IPO is. And we have Ultraviolet Clearance, which I'm pretty sure this card was also straight banned. This is a triple that just says gain 4, draw 4, install a card. Notably, it says you may install a card here, but the text actually was printed as install 1 card, which means if you played an Ultraviolet Clearance and drew into a hand of all operations, you had to call a judge over and prove to the judge in secrecy that you cannot do the text. So I'm pretty sure FFG eroded it officially to say you may install, just so you don't have to call a judge over when you draw into absolute garbage. Funny enough, technically too, if you drew into a hand of only agendas, you'd have to just put an agenda on the table, which wasn't the worst thing in Sportsmetal. But like, yeah, there's a lot of weird. Terminal Directive was such a weird box and lost a lot of templating stuff. I am tired. I mean, je suis fatigué. Do you be tired or do you have tired, Eric? 174 orders over 129 shipments. Remember playing Mati into Clan Vengeance 0 and feeling indignant when my opponent was playing such broken cards? I mean, Clan Vengeance has really good text into Mati, that's for sure. And you get your favorites, Jeeves Model Biroids. This is what we used to have before we had Wage Workers. Notably, Jeeves is a bit different the way that it's typed, or like its abilities typed out. It's an alliance card, which is like a really strong thing that unfortunately the Muhammad cycle, the game kind of fell apart a bit if you ask most people. But this card costs no influence if you jammed your deck full of 6 1-influence HB acid spam cards, which was the thing you did. This thing has such a huge butt at 5. And the big difference between this and Wage Workers is that this works on a purge. That's neat. But this also can only fire 1 time a turn, as opposed to things like, what's it called? Wage Workers, which actually can fire twice in the same turn off of different things, which is not super common, but it matters. I don't remember this card seeing unironic play, so I don't know what's up with this. This is a 4/2 that allows you to grab an ice from your deck and put it on the table. I mean, fine, it has to go on a remote server. Really weird. I don't remember this deck. I don't remember this happening. We had Vitruvius, which is a 3/2 that would be really good, kind of like a dividends text. This is what the Project Ingatan is trying to be. We have an Ikua, which kind of was around for a bit. So Melius, it's like that, except it doesn't give you tempo. It's a click and 2 credits. And we have 3 Hyperloop, which we mentioned in a corporate sales team. So the agenda suite isn't like super busto. There's 1 3-pointer. So like how many agendas the runner and the corp have to score or steal actually matters a fair bit if this goes on one side of the table. I mean, let's give it a shot. But the thing is, I need somebody who wants to play the runner list against this or wants to play the corp list into the runner list. Because you can't just queue up for Classique without having someone sit down across from you. Alliance feels goofy emotionally, having not played back then. Doesn't feel like it should be in a competitive card game. Interesting. I think it makes a lot of sense for like a competitive card game because it's the sort of thing that makes people think like, oh, I'm a deck builder. So if I played, if I played 5 influence of these Jinteki cards, I can put in this influence of this Jinteki card. And it's meant to unlock these sort of like, weird decks that didn't exactly exist easily and played with the influence system, which is something so unique to this game. But generally it turned out that most of the influence packages were like very, I don't know if the right term, parasitic, where the idea was like you played 3 team sponsorship, you played 3 Jeeves, you played 3 Eli 1.0s, and you called it a day. It was just like, oh, pick the best 1 influence cards. And so it actually went out of the way to make the decks homogenous, right? There was like no acid spam deck that wasn't playing 3 team sponsorships and 3 Jeeves and then 3, I think it was Eli, but it might have been something else. So it was like, it seems interesting, but it turns out not to be interesting. I rarely saw a deck to be like, oh, you're doing that because you want to hit this like 1 alliance thing. It was usually really straightforward. Going to my first ever standard tourney this weekend, so keen. Neutron, are you playing in the Continentals? Running the Davs, Ayuko, and Lou. Hell yeah. Hope we have a good time. Oh, Friends. Yeah, Kevin, that's it. Friends was the big one. Of course, we're asset spamming. So it wasn't Eli. It was 3 friends in high places and 3 copies of Jeeves or team sponsorship. Yeah, it was the worst. As a new player, seeing old cards is fascinating. How are these cards ever balanced? I mean, they were, and they weren't to some extent too, right? Like we played Netrunner since 2012. There was metas where there's strong cards and weak cards, and all of these cards are independently pretty strong cards, it turns out. But the thing is, like, there's always gonna be strong cards in the game, and it's really easy to pick up one card and be like, this is absurd, and it is, and we learned how to play against it, and the game goes on. Jeeves is not too different than what we have now. Jeeves is, I think, not always better in Eternal compared to work crew, or not work crew, excuse me, wage workers. But like, we haven't mentioned Rashida and NGO front, and I feel like I don't have to because they were only gone recently. But Rashida was for a very long time the best card in standard for most corporations. Like, you can track linearly your win rate between Rashida's fired and, well, your win rate. If Rashida fires turn 1, you're in such a good spot. It was actually like Netrunner in circa 2012 to maybe 2015. The opening play was usually like hedge fund ice 2 centrals. And then especially in like mid NSG, at least if we're in modern NSG, and like late FFG, the best thing you could do is ice up a Rashida turn 1. I think that's mostly an NSG thing than FFG. Like Jackson was in every deck. Yeah, Jackson was in every deck. So like NBN Alliance was never super compelling, but you always got there anyways. No, that's not good. Maybe we'll just live on this page and never click on anything. It might feel really strange since it's so far away to what we're doing now. I don't know if it's that far away. I honestly don't know if it is. Sometimes the answer was there or not. I remember a time when the top cut was almost exclusively CTM versus Valencia. Yeah, we saw really homogenous metas at certain points in time. CTM controlling the message was definitely one of those for sure. Good stuff Anarch, just like Hoshiko for a while, was like pretty much that as well. I remember there's World's Top Cuts, which is like 10 out of 16 people are playing the same identity on both sides. It can get like that. It's a local warm-up tourney for Continentals in Australia. Oh, sick. I mean, enjoy. It looks like you're gonna have some good decks, so hopefully you have a good time. I always think it's important if you're going to your first ever standard tourney is like have a little sit down with yourself and talk about what your expectations are, like personal expectations. I think you want to be realistic about your expectations, especially if it's your first tournament, to be like, I want to go to this event and the thing that I want to do is like, I want to win 1 game with each deck. I want to meet a nice person, you know, like I think that stuff actually really matters because it's going to be overwhelming in some ways as much as it is a casual event. Are you playing Classique? Quail, how's it going? I think I want to play a Classique matchup, but I'm going to require somebody from chat to want to play one of the sides of this. And then we're actually going to go play standard, assuming Netrunner DB works, which it's not on my side. Getting multiple wage workers triggers is how you know you're committing crimes. Yeah, Pod, how's it going? So, important rules warning. The matchup involves multiple cards that discard cards from HQ at random. Oh, if you're playing in person, yeah, there's a lot of game loss simulators here that you can do. So watch out. It's a really good write-up too. Cards both players should read. Like, that's a really good thing that Cobra did. Hot tea. Thursday. All right, always be jamming. Set up a 2-ice remote server and jam agendas. Get to 5 points. Right, like this list, would it play Seamless Launch if it could? Probably. And is Seamless Launch a more busted card than some of the cards on this list? Yeah. And do you complain about Seamless Launch? Yeah, sometimes. But like, there's always going to be powerful cards that the game is going to be hinged around, right? Like, would Enigma be playable today? Honestly, I think I would. I actually think Enigma might be playable, even though we're in a buzzsaw meta, so it's pretty good. Yeah, we have no currents in this, which I think is going to be okay. What kind of tea? Ginger lemon, just like nice stomach tea. It's a great point. I don't plan on winning much at all. My game plan is to learn as many new cards as possible. Oh, sick. Okay, if you're a newer player too, Neutron, like, do not hesitate to be like, hey, can I read that card? Obviously, ask somebody before you take their card. But like 99% of the time, when you meet someone at an event, you'd be like, hey, I'm the first time out. They're like so excited you're there. They'll talk you through lines. They'll like, if you want to be like, hey, can we debrief after the game? I highly recommend that, to be like, hey, so what would you what would you suggest? Is there anything I should learn? Like, that's one of the fastest ways you can learn too. We had a Classique GMK in Toronto this week. It was a ton of fun. How does it work, Diluvian? How's it going, by the way? I don't understand how Classique works. Like, do you get assigned a table and the table gets assigned a deck? You played Maryland, not Eli for Jeeves. Alliance, get your shit straight. No, Ian, you played Friends. Like, we both got our shit wrong. You're right. You did play Maryland a lot. It was like Maryland and Jeeves. It wasn't Eli for sure. But I think Friends was in there a lot. Currents were great. Space Kitty forever. Oh my God. Currents were awful. I'm going to be so mean to Neutron. I mean, okay, call shot. That's fine. Respect the hustle. Got to be mean to someone. Uh, I so I do think Classique is supported on Netrunner DB. Oh, sorry, on JNet. I think you can make a Classique game. I thought you could make a Classique game. You can't see my drop-down menu, but Classique is not an option. So I need to import the deck. Each table picked a matchup each round to try and ensure no one repeated decks. Oh, cool. Okay, so you just like figure it out. This is the other side of the table with Max. 45 cards in Max was not super common. 14 influence. There might be one influence left for most wanted list stuff back in the day. This is what I'm talking about. We have all these breakers that you install from the bin at instant speed. We have Fisks, which is one of my favorite cards of all time. Both players draw 3 cards as a priority, which sounds bad, and it's better than it sounds. We have Patrick, which is pretty cool. I don't think I expected that. And then we have a lot of ways to take damage, like Stim Hack and a single titanium ribs, which seems a bit ambitious. We have 2 Levy AR Lab Axes, which is like the Ashen from back in the day. This just said reset your deck, no additional, drawbacks or side effects. We have 3 Hacktivist Meeting, which is like kind of crazy. Like that's a lot of current, but it's a really strong current that will mess you up, especially because I guess we can Biotic from hand. But the big cards you have to play around are DDoS, which is a card that says you can't raise your outermost ice for a whole turn, which is a messed up text. We have Same Old Thing, which is just recurrent event, which is messed up text. NSG is way better when it comes to recursion. There is so much recursion you had access to back in the day. You could play the same event trivially 7 times in a game, with Anarch even more than that. And then this is the big card, Clan Vengeance. So this card has currently, well, it was banned for a long time. It gets power counters whenever you suffer damage and at instant speed, which is such an interesting but cursed timing window. You can trash cards randomly from HQ equal to the amount of power counters. So yeah, there's some matchups where this is the most important thing. There's some matchups where this gets like built really quickly and the corporation just can't draw anything. So it's strange. It's very, very, very strange. Last year Worlds, we kind of just scrambled between the matchups of found opponents, but I'm super fun, but very informal. Interesting. I do not miss Film Critic as far as runners are concerned. No worry about that in the matchup. Hey, Brennan. I also went to a meetup for the first time the other day and was getting shown crazy high-speed rail tech with Flood. It was crazy. Oh, okay. Yeah. That is a thing that happens less than it used to a month ago. Team sponsorship? Yeah, I think it was team sponsorship and friends. And then a bit of Maryland for sure. Currents were the worst thing to ever happen to Netrunner, full stop? Yeah, maybe. That might be right. I think I could agree with that. I think currents were genuinely awful. I really don't care for them. Do we have any takers? I will either play Max or Sportsmetal. I just need somebody willing to play the other side of the matchup. So either you can play a pretty fun Max deck that is going to do disruption. Not very good at breaking ice, but you do have a David, which allows you to break big ice, so you can get through the toll booth or the Fairchild, stuff like that. But the other side, you have a Sportsmetal deck that's jammy and fast and does some like soft combo stuff. Not hard combo, but just like puts card in the remote server. And then you have to like arc lock down all their breakers and they cry. So there's some things you can do. Bring back the Scorp Corp and the RFG Mafia. I think Scorpios is like one of the best decks in Eternal right now. And I don't think it makes anyone happy. I think everyone's sad about that. Just sad. All right, I'm going to hold out for like 2 minutes for anybody who wants to play Classique. Otherwise, if we don't have a taker, we will just have to move on. And we tried our best. Like, we genuinely tried. I'll happy to give it a go. Eric, I could not ask for a nicer opponent. Which side do you want to play? I played back then. I'm not going to do a great job. I think I can definitely play one of these better than the other. This is definitely my speed. You go sports, fantastic. Okay, I'll queue up. I'll put a password. Let me grab the deck list. Yeah, I can. It's on the front page. You'll find it. I was going to share a link and then realize that's not necessary. Thank you. I'll see you in a second. Import, play, new game, Eternal, runner for Eric. It's too aggressive. For Eric. Password, I'm going to say it on the stream. It's going to be Eric, lowercase. All right, Eric, the password's your name, lowercase. Lee, how's it going? It's Classique time. Yeah, it's been a minute. I've only played like one Classique matchup ever, which is like Polana versus Noise. But I've also played all the Classique decks because I was playing Netrunner at the time. So for me, it's like I'm the grumpy tourist, you know? Or the person grumpy of the tourists. I saw poetry and I was like, sports, and it's obviously not the same idea. No, a lot of people looked at poetry and said, ooh, sports or ASA. And it turns out the answer is no. It's no. Eric, give me your Discord and I'll help you. I lived through this. I lived through this era. Yeah, Eric, it's up. Password is your name. I think only lowercase. I don't know if I had to password protect an eternal lobby. That seems maybe a bit ridiculous. I don't know how many decks there'll be for the Classique tournament, but I just want to say, like, putting this together, putting the write-up together, sleeving this and bringing it to an event and giving it to strangers to play is like such a Herculean effort. So shout out to Cobra and the team for doing this. Cobra Bubbles write-ups for the decks. Yeah, the write-ups for the decks are really, really good. Kate, how's it going? It's Max. Yes, it's what's it called? Classique Max. So nice. All right, we're doing the matchup. Okay. Man, it's cool to play old cards. So I don't know if Eric knows all of these. He played back in the day, but not on all times. Hey, hey. Best of luck. Have fun. He is a scoring deck. We are a hopefully be annoying deck. We need to find a vengeance and we need to find a way to do damage. Now, Max says when your turn starts, you rip 2, draw 1. So you only have a couple turns before you end out of deck. And that's when you want to play a levy or same old thing into levy and go from there. Now, this hand is a David, which is an okay. In terms of the matchup, David is really good for face checking to some of the bigger stuff. So like IP block, vanilla issue, Enigma issue, Fairchild 3, doable. Gatekeeper, technically doable. I don't remember Gatekeeper and David being in the same meta. That might have not been a real thing. Toll Booth is doable, and Surveyor eventually will be doable. So it's not like perfect. The thing is, like, we're gonna mill our breakers. So this hand's not awful. I don't know how fast we're gonna go. It's not like combo fast sports, so it's not like I have to. Like, I think we could start with Sure Gamble, Liberated, Hit Liberated, and like daily casts. We're definitely gonna start with Fisk. We only want to Fisk really when it's Clan Vengeance or we need it. But I like this hand. It's okay. One of our locals had an old head and was so excited to play CTM again. It was worth proxying them for that. I played draft this last weekend and seeing like all the old promos, it was like just the coolest thing to see old cards, let alone old promos. Like I drew a Mongoose and I was just so happy with myself. Like Mongoose is just one of my favorite Netrunner cards. Firstly, the art is so good, but having this little weasel guy like break some sentries sometimes, it's just like so good. And then you got a Kipling quote. Man, Mongoose makes me happy. What a good breaker. I found the last 2 Mythos packs I need for Dunnage for under $20 and the website hasn't set up their online store yet. Only in-store pickup. Tony, where is it? Is it local or like do you have to go to the moon? Okay, so I don't know what this is. We milled a Clan Vengeance and the same old thing, so that's not good. This is whatever. We have a Stim Hack, which imagine Overclock, but better. We could check these cards on the table. In terms of the things, like if it's a Rashida, we need to deal with it. If it's a Jeeves, we don't. So it's probably Rashida, Jeeves, or a Little Agenda. What's it called? A Hyperloop. Now, notably, there was a lot of sports decks that had cards that scaled with the amount of agendas you stole. This is not one of those, so we can go a bit like hog wild. So I think we'll just check 2. Like check 2 servers, and we can play the casts. Yeah, this is what we expect. So we got to see what Eric wants to do, whether he wants to draw or gain. I mean, this is fine. In other matchups where sports actually had cards that say, for every agenda in your score area, do something bad, this is a lot worse. There's no chance this is a nice Rashida, right? This is a Jeeves. Oh, wow. Okay. So we got 2 points. Jesus, undersell, warning, imagine overclock, but better. I mean, yeah, but that's how you have to say it. It's overclock, but a bit better. No downsides. I think we'll just play the cast and pass. We did enough. He drew a lot of cards. It's in California. I got to give up on them and taking direct sanity damage. I mean, you can ask a local. California is pretty small, right? It's like the size of a mall. Max is my favorite anarch from a flavor perspective across art gameplay. Yo, John, how's it going? Yeah, I think mine too. I think Max is my favorite anarch. Calling sim out overclock but better is like calling F1 car a bit faster than a bike. I mean, I'm not wrong. It's the easiest way to talk about it. Okay, so we've hit our Black Orchestra in the bin. Notably, I've had worse is like the Proto Steel Skin Scarring, but it doesn't trigger when you trash it from the top of your deck. So it's either draw 3 cards or draw 3 cards if it's only hit by net or meat. So it doesn't hit off of your overclock, so that's bad. We do have an Orchestra. Orchestra is a breaker that we can install from our heap when we hit a code gate. And let me tell you, only installing your breakers when you need them is incredible, as much as the numbers on Black Orchestra are pretty bad. So we could check server 3 first click, and if it's a Fairchild, we click it. If it's an Architect, we can experience what that feels like, but spending the click to put down the David doesn't make a lot of sense. So I think we'll just charge this. We're not hitting any of our disruption. It's a Gatekeeper, so the David would have been fine here. So this will go through. So we can install the Black Orchestra and break this. It costs us 9 credits, so we're not. There is sometimes a world where you just install it and let this fire so you can play around Arc Lockdown, but it's not really our concern. We actually could put the David and run back, but I don't know if we need to. Like, I don't know what Eric can score out behind this on ice that we really care about. The world where Melias gets unbanned and Gang gets banned instead? No, there's no shot. Ganked is definitely not the issue with Milius. The issue with Milius is the text on the identity. So draw 3, pretty good text. This is probably Rashida. Eternal or draft? It's neither, Jake. This is Classique. So they're doing a Classic tournament at EMEA, the Continentals this weekend. And so the Classic deck, one of them ended up on the front page of Netrunner DB, so we're going to play it. How you doing? I think we'll just continue setting up. So this is the what we want to discard. So when we hit a vanilla, we just break it for 5 once, clicklessly. Unfortunately, we have a lot of money, but not much to do with it. I miss Gatekeeper. Me too, bud. Card's good. Eventually, we'll break it for 3. So we play Liberated, which is slow. We can just put down the David just so we have it. I mean, that's okay. But I kind of want to click for credit so we can eject the paperclip. Let's see if this is Rashida. We kind of get to a bad spot. Price on my cards I recognize for my 8 games a year before 2025. I mean, we played with the same cards for so long. Like, rotation was pretty slow. It was a Rashida, so unfortunate. That's draw 3, game 3. But at this point, Eric is going to be holding half his deck. How hard will Op get hit before Worlds? I mean, I listened to Measured Response, and the response there seems to be no, which I find so surprising. Hit plus button, see big cards. 12 cards in hand. So this looks like a Jeeves. It either is that or I think that's what it has to be. It could be an Arella, but you put Arella in the remote. So it's a Jeeves or NGO fronts. It's definitely a Jeeves. So Jeeves means you can never advance, just like wage workers. But this thing has an absurd butt. We would stim hack the Jeeves if we need to. All right, so one day we'll draw our Clan Vengeance. We have 2 more in the list. Double ice, nice push. I think actually pre-installing the David might be reasonable for the double ice push. But it might be better here just to trash server 4 so that if Eric scores out, he can't jam the next agenda. So that might be fine for us. Right, the Jeeves is the bigger target here. Because if he just scores a 3-2 and passes, like he scores an whatever Vitruvius, I don't think we're upset. And notably when he scores, he gets 2 credits back, so they're really cheap scores. Also, this deck doesn't have a spin doctor or anything. Like, this has no recursion. So getting the Clan Vengeance actually can matter. So we got a Levy. We lost 0 and Daily Cast. So 0 is such a strong enabler for Clan Vengeance. It says click to gain a credit and lose a card. Then you draw 2 cards. So you go forward on cards. It'll only take damage once a turn. So like, I don't think we're at the point that we play Fisk. Maybe we should because scoring out's a bit expensive. Yeah, I think we do. I think we need to set up. Okay, so we have DDoS, which is worth playing. We have Hacktivist, which is not worth playing. Because we think that Eric can score next turn, but it's a bit harder to score with a hand looking like this. So we could just run server 4, install Daily Cast, install David. I don't think I want to show the DDoS, but we haven't found a Clan Vengeance yet. It'll get banned post-Worlds, I imagine? Yeah, that's kind of what it said. It's like Excavator could get banned post-Worlds. But I mean, if the Continental results get even more homogenous, I'm imagining somebody will do something. NGO on the table. Wow, it's not what I expected. Huh. I assumed this would be a Jeeves. Now, advancing this technically is credit positive. I don't think money matters that much, but I guess we'll trash it. And so I think we're just going to do cast DDoS, and we're going to discard probably the Hacktivist. There's not that many things this matchup is going to res, and I don't think it has any currents we have to care about. For those who don't know, currents are like cards that stay on the table until the opponent steals or scores, and they just give you really gross effects. I have a plan. There was less of a plan earlier. I was going to get around to that. New plan, good plan. All right, so we're pushing. Imagine someone doing something about op. I mean, we'll see. Jason, how's it going? We'll see what happens. Oh, I was not meant to install the DDoS. We did. I mean, that's fine. We could DDoS run this and assume we get through this ice. This has to be a Rella, so it has to be an agenda probably. Could be another Rashida. The deck has only 2 DDoSes. This card used to be worth points. It used to be banned at some point, I think, but I might be wrong. Oh, Biotic Labor. So we're doing tempo. Oh, we're doing absurd tempo. So double Biotic Labor into 4 advances? What is this? Nah, we're not playing 8 credits to start to score out. So I think we're just putting an agenda in here and say, chill. Okay, Biotic Labor, Arella. Okay, so she's going to see it. So we're going to score Vitruvius with no text to install a card in here and then put an advancement on it. That's fine. We're going to get 2 credits back, which is good. But yeah, we did force the awkward discards, which is good. So we have to run this on 7 credits. It's hard to imagine 2 ice that can be res that we can't deal with. I don't know if we have to break the DDoS here. We might. We drew a Patchwork. Very fun console. So in our discard pile, we lost our second 0. We lost a console. Patchwork's really good. This is like what Topon wishes Topon's text was. So we can crack the DDoS and run the server. We assume it's an agenda. We know there's probably an agenda in hand. This doesn't have to be an agenda. Arella just installs a card for free and places an advancement on it, which can work for ice. So the question is, how do we land this? If we pop DDoS, this can't be rezzed, and then the whole server is this ice. That seems fine. Off the locals alone, my deck's out to newer players and watch them click for credits. This game's so hard. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Sometimes the deck do it. We could do David. David breaks FC3. David breaks Toll Booth, but Eric can't res Toll Booth. If Eric res FC3, we're happy. So I think we just do DDoS run. It's not a great DDoS, but it's not like we have a transfer or anything. This card is so good because it's the whole turn. So you can like run HQ multiple times with like gross effect. So this ice can't be rezzed. Only this ice can be rezzed. And we can break a barrier and a code gate. We can't break a sentry. The surveyor, we could trace through it. It'll be trace 4. FC3, perfect. So we just click through this. So we're not going to install it. We're just going to click through all of this, which it's all or nothing. So if we installed the David, we could technically save some counters, but canister, Eric will probably be on 3 credits here. Could be Rashida as well. Reborn Enforcement. Okay, so set up to score that next turn. So now Sportsmetal can put Eric to 3. I think we don't trash Arella. She's too expensive. Eric's probably going to just keep jamming turn after turn. We could win on a single 3-pointer. I can't imagine having time to install this Patchwork, I'll be honest. But actually the second Liberated is probably the thing that we don't need. I mean, we probably do play 1 David to deal with a Fairchild because he spent a click and 2 instead of 3 clicks. Oh, click and 3. Yeah, right. David's 3. We'll see. I mean, on 3 credits, like, we're not too worried. Like, what can Eric score out here? Look at our Clan Vengeance deck. Look at all those Clan Vengeances in our discard pile. We have 1 more. Not that we found a way to take damage. So we have no multi-access besides Clan Vengeance. Like, this deck doesn't even have a medium in it. So like, we just have to win off singles if we can't find our last Clan Vengeance. In Max, a lot of people didn't like drawing because you get a draw for free, but drawing in Max makes sense. Classique, Eternal, GNK, and MTL. I mean, I'd kind of be down to play Classique. We have a lot of players who've been playing for a long time who like Classique is not the worst thing. We could Fisk here and just say have more cards, and then you're forked between scoring out and doing anything else. I mean, I'm fine for that. Okay, so can't play the second Fisk. We could definitely get Patchwork down here to get 2 credits a turn. We have a Levy. We don't need the same old thing. We don't really need the DDoS. Like, I don't want to hit the Liberated Accounts button. I don't want to run HQ. We could run HQ because we're just giving 2 credits. I mean, running HQ is not awful here. We haven't spent any credits so far. I just don't know if we need this Patchwork. It's down 2 credits and a click this turn. We don't need the MU. It allows us to install our breakers cheaply. Yeah, whatever. We'll try it. So we need to install something here, but I think we should run first. Because if we steal an ICO, we win. And we need to click in 2 for that. Architect, okay. So we haven't found our MK Ultra. So we'll throw out the same old thing. And install the David for 1. So we'll see if Eric wants to score out here and chuck. Like, this is why Fisk was so cool. Yeah, you can score, but at what cost? Like, now you have to discard 4 cards, which means running HQ is so much better because you're probably not throwing out agendas, and then your hand is so ripe. Like, this is the idea why this card is playable and cool. You see, like, the ice has to go on HQ and we don't score this turn. Now we could throw out DDoS or run HQ 3 times if we wanted to, but Eric is not in that much better of a position if he wants to score out a 3-2 from the remote. All right, so we discarded a Mad Dash, which is fun. It's a really fun card. Doesn't meet damage or extra points, and a Last Liberated. So we could do another Fisk here. This Mad Dash is harder to play because we don't have any cards that like let us know where agendas are. You could easily play some cards that do that. So we could do the last Fisk. Eventually, we're going to have to play our Levy, but I think we can just give more cards in hand. This deck does have economy, but it doesn't have, it has 3 hedge funds. So like actually giving a bit of card draw here might be a bit bad because we've gotten lucky that there's only been 1 hedge fund so far, but so many cards in archives. We can draw once. Okay, this doesn't matter. So we're not doing a lot here. We can install the DDoS cheaply. We could run HQ. The problem is if Eric scores, Arella does do something there. I mean, I'm interested in checking archives and see what happens. Yeah, there's probably an agenda in archives, but I think Eric is holding like 5 agendas in hand. Yeah, wow. So the toll booth, 2 architects, an IP block, and a vanilla are out. So there has to be a lot of points in hand because the deck is on 11 agendas. We've seen, oh, excuse me. I was wondering when Stargate disappeared and realized there's a large part because of Mad Dash rotating. Yeah, maybe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's still 6 agendas amongst 27 cards. So pretty good density. I mean, I guess we can install the Liberated. It's not, I think the DDoS is a bit better, but we're going to need slightly more money. So we'll patchwork, we'll install the Liberated, we'll throw out the same old thing. I want to keep a Black Orchestra just in case we get Arc Lockdown. So it's nice always to have a backup breaker. And just clicking for 4. Card is slow, but it's a lot of money on a single card. This used to be a joke of a card. And then eventually it was like, wait, this is actually pretty sick. Ultraviolet Pass. Okay, so you can install 1 card. It says May, but like this is a really good turn to like crack DDoS and just run HQ 3 times. We'll see where the install goes. This could be 2 Aurelas, but it looks like there's an agenda in here. Can't tell what's going on. Same old Madness archives. It don't say May? No, it do say May. They made it say May. I know it don't say May, but yeah, it says May now. Kind of wish it did. It's so much goofier. So this is probably Jeeves. Jeeves means that Eric can score out this with a 4-2. So I'm assuming this is another remote enforcement. So I actually think we're going to probably install our... I mean, it'd be ugly if the stim hack hits the levy. Okay, so we have access to 2 kinds of breakers. I think we're just going to stim hack server 3. Assuming we're going to spend 5-3-3. We just don't want it to hit the levy, because if it hits the levy, we might be cooked, because we've thrown out every single same old thing. So we have 1 more levy in the list we can naturally draw. We have to get a bit lucky here. But I think we're just going to stim hack this. We could Fisk first. F it. No. Okay, so we found our Clan Vengeance. So I'm going to install this first. I guess I'm going to throw out the paperclip. And then we'll stim hack, which will charge this. We'll charge server 3. 100% go to deck out. Wait until I play them again. Yeah, like eventually he will just get milled because we've forced him to draw 9 extra cards so far. So we just want to not hit the levy 1 out of 5 times. So we'll install the Black Orchestra. We have 9 credits to work with. Again, this is a bit better than Overclock. We'll break this for 3, and then we'll trash this for 3. With the 3 and 2. Yeah, there's a Jeeves. So now scoring on the remote server starter. We lost the titanium ribs perfectly. Now we're taking damage, so the Clan Vengeance is good. We have 4 hand size, it doesn't matter. It's a bit sketchy now with the 0 because we could always hit the levy and that would be pretty bad for us. We don't actually need more money on the liberated account, so we could run R&D for a single. Sometimes interacting with Sportsmetal last click is pretty bad because now they know what the cost of drawing is in terms of safety. So I think we can just put down the 0 and then just say next turn we're gonna go. Bin breakers or something else, huh? We are a bit weak to losing every single fractor, but he did throw out his 1 vanilla. So he has 2 of them. Those are the hard end the runs. So it looks like it's another Jeeves. We probably can just contest server 5. Hey, Joel. Six cards left in the stack, and we do have to play this levy sooner than later. IPO for 13. To 13. To gain 13. It gains 5. Okay, so we milled. Interesting. So this actually might be hacktivist and play passively. Because if you want to score out an agenda in this remote server, you're probably going to have to res a Jeeves, which mills a card from hand. A more, I'm just taking slower clicks on the Clan Vengeance checks here. Oh, legit. I won't fire it on 1. He probably can score out. I want to hit the 0, and then we can just 1 and 4 it. The bottom 3 cards of our deck, there is 1 Clan Vengeance. So if it whiffs, we can just click to draw. So I'll hit the 0 button. Okay, so luckily we drew the last levy, but that's good. We're on 2 Clan Vengeances. So we can just rip 2 cards from hand. This might be a reasonable time to do the levy. This says once per turn, when you would play or install a card, you may trash a card from your grip. So if we do the I've had worse, it'll fire before the levy. So we just want to install as many cards as we can to make sense. So I don't think Eric can win this turn. So I think we just do Hacktivist, DDoS, and we work on Liberated and just say like next turn, if you can score, you can score. Oh, we might as well do that. Oops. Oh, that's fine. We'll just use it on the DDoS. So install this. We'll use Patchwork, draw the last card. That didn't work. Why? Oh, because of not damage. Oh shit. Steel skin works. I forgot I've had worse doesn't work for this. And then we'll just take money. Yeah, this doesn't fire off of just damage. It has to be hit by net or meat. So Patchwork fires off of Steel Skin, not off of I've had worse. Very funny. So now if you want to res a non-agenda, non-ice card, you have to randomly discard a card from hand. So that's a card out of hand. Wait, is it not working? Yeah, it is, because we're down to 5. So we thought this was going to get scored. Okay, wait, we had a window there to respond, but we're going to go get something from the deck. Now he can jam the Ikwa, but he can't win next turn. So the Hacktivist was pretty low value. The issue is also when we levy, we're going to lose access to our breakers, but we can't get the paperclip on the table. Going to Vengeance and then levy? No, we have no reason to do the Vengeance first. I want to wipe the whole hand. Because this gets even better when you have, what's it called? A lot better when you have access to, oh wow, this is really good into DDoS. Oh shit, we can lose on this table. So we're going to mill our last card. It's an MK Ultra. So we could run this. We can win next time with the Ikwa. Yeah, if we don't deal with this Jeeves and potentially this Jeeves. Yeah. How's it go with which? So if we run this, we click the Fairchild, we break this ice, we David this one, and then we get in. The issue is if it's an Ikwa, we can't get in. So we're actually kind of in a bad spot, it turns out. I think we had to read that this was the remote enforcement, so we should have maybe interacted with it. Even like same old thing Mad Dash is like probably a play. Because the only card that stays in the remote server for that long is a 4-2. And if it is the one Ikwa, we need to trash 2 Jeeveses. And then even then, we have to break 2 Fairchilds. So like, not sure what we were meant to do. I think we could consider either like popping off with Clan Vengeance and running archives and seeing a bunch of cards. If we see 2 agendas, we usually win. We can 0 here, but it's a pretty bad 50-50. Could probably click lib twice and run server 5. Yeah, I mean, we break Fairchild 3 for... We can trash one of our own cards. So we can break Fairchild 3 for 12. So I think that's probably the best play we have. We do 4-8 run. We have a lot of money. Yeah, I don't mind that. So we're going to David one of these, and then the other one we can just break with our Black Orchestra. We might have to install a breaker here, but we also don't have to use all the David counters. We only have to break the end of the run, because we can always pay 3 or trash our cards, which actually might have been better. At least for this one, we won't break all the subroutines, and we can get our David back in the bin. Oh, Surveyor. Oh, we messed up. We definitely should have Davided this one. Yeah, we could have let the subroutines fire. Very cool. So this is 6 strength for tags, which we don't care about. 6 strength for trace. We can just trace that. We install our MK Ultra. We can install it for free with the patchwork, but then we have to boost this 3 times, so it costs 9. So I think we just go for it. Yeah, I think you break the core and pay 3. I think you're right, Leah. I don't think we break all of this because we know there's Surveyor, which is like so cool about Classique because it's open deck lists that you do get better at it. But we definitely could have paid 3 and then just broke those and then kept 1 to break the potential end the run on the Surveyor. So if we install this, it's free. Though we have to boost to 2 to 4 the 6, so we break it for 9. So we're just going to trace this. So trace 6 is cheaper for us than break for 9. Eric can boost into this, but if he boosts too much, he can't score. I mean, this could be the winning Ikwa. We just need to make sure we get in with the click and 2. I think you install the MK so that it's post levy. Oh yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. We do want to install the MK so that when we levy, we have access to it. Interesting. Yeah, I think you're totally right. So this is for tags. Okay. The other one matters a bit more. So this is trace X, where X is double the amount of ice on the server. We don't have a lot of ice at scale like that. You can undo the boost. All right, so we don't have a link on Max, so we have to pay 6. All right, so this we can either break for 6. We have to break the last one. So we messed up. We definitely could have used the David way better than this. Because yeah, the last one is the hard one that we have to boost. And the way that Black Orchestra works, breaking Fairchild is not super intuitive. So we'll boost. This breaks 2. So we'll do this and this. And we'll let the last subroutine fire. Notably, with Black Orchestra, the boosts that you've done before don't catch up. So while we technically broke 4 subroutines, we only broke 2 subroutines. So we'll get the David in the bin for the cycle. And this could be game. It is. Let's go. GG. Good line there. I should have used the David a lot better, but that was the way to win for sure. Yeah, that was a really good line for Eric, where you push on that turn, because we have to get through all this with a click and 2, and we know there's 1-5-3 that closes the game out. Yeah, this might be a Jeeves. This is a Jeeves. This might be a Jeeves. And if we can't deal with this, we have to trash both of them. And even then, he has a Biotic in hand. Yeah. Fire Clan? I mean, okay, I can't. He has priority. Hey, Transar, how's it going? Yeah, trashing the David for fodder is really good. It was rough. There was an NGO front. I'm a lot happier. Oh, yeah. The NGOs with Arella are pretty wild. Rematch? I mean, it's a fun matchup, and like there's so much texture to it. Like using Arella to push an NGO front, if we ran that, how bad it would have been. You host? Like that's really cool. It's really cool. Like Classique is kind of interesting. And this is the thing, is like some of these cards are individually more powerful than what we have in standard, but like, I don't know. It's neat. The Andre wins overlay. All right, we'll do one more and then we'll jump into something else. But I mean, like, yeah, there's a lot to enjoy in Classique because it is a thing that replaying it is good. It's kind of more like a board game than it is, you know, Netrunner. And that's kind of fun. It's also fun to see old cards. Join. All right, let's go. Okay, this hand has money. We can't force the 0 to hit the I've had worse. Let's go. Thanks, you too. We'll see if Eric keeps or not. His opening was really strange. Again, feeding 1-pointers for other Sportsmetal decks was pretty bad for us, but in this Sportsmetal decks, it's just points. We don't mind it. I don't hate this hand. He mulligan though. We have access to card draw. We have slow econ. We have our 0 engine. We have the stim hack, which doesn't matter on turn 1. But stim hack also gets so much better when you can install your breakers mid-run, so you're guaranteed to get your value, as opposed to having to install a breaker and then overclock and then they don't res. Like this is kind of cool. I think we can keep this hand, but I really do want to like just get a Clan Vengeance on turn 1. Best case we draw it and then we get the 0 set up. That'd be sick. Flavor text on this one's pretty fun. So we're pushing. So Gatekeeper, bad. Fairchild, okay. So we have the David. We lost the Titanium Ribs, which allows us to control our damage. We could just like face check this. The thing is like this could be an NGO front, which puts Eric on, I believe, 9 credits. It's been a minute, which means you can res a Fairchild 3. I think this has to be an NGO front. Otherwise, like this push is pretty nonsense. So I don't mind face checking it and see what happens. If a Fairchild 3, we just lose our whole turn. But like this has to be an NGO front because you can't push a 4-2. Maybe behind a vanilla. This is fine. We like to diffuse the Gatekeeper sooner than later. Actually, maybe there's a world in which we do the David first and then we break some of the Gatekeeper subroutines. Because like Eric now still gets to keep his NGO front. So he shuffled back 4 points for Vitruvius and Remote Enforcement. DDoS says no face check. I mean, you want to face check the Gatekeeper, but like we only have 2 DDoS. I don't think we can play around DDoS as our game plan. Like he's on 1 credit, which again, this is an NGO front, so it's not as bad as it looks. I think we do just do this. Like we don't hit the button, which sucks, but maybe we hit the iPad worse next turn. Eric seems like the guy who'd go for it. I'm not sure. I don't think so. He's clicking for credits. No, he went for it. That is an agenda. It's not an NGO front. Otherwise he'd advance it. So you're right. Eric is the kind of guy who would go for it. We lost a Levy and a Hacktivist. So there's a 4-2 here. I'm pretty sure it's the Remote Enforcement. So I'm going to hit the 0. The 0 is going to hit the iPad worse and we're going to pop off. Shit. Okay, so we have the Patchwork, which doesn't fire I've had worse. We lost the same old thing. We have our second Levy in the hand, so if we lose that, we have 2 more same old things. But we cannot get to the Gatekeeper unless we find one of our 2 Black Orchestras, which we have to break this for 6. Okay. He can have it. It's a bad start for us. I can't believe he pushed it. It looks like David run was better. Oh, that's fine. This is not that bad. This gives him a credit every start of turn, ours and his. It's not a free ice. So the thing is, like, I don't know how much pressure we should put on HQ because ultimately it gives him money. Like, I think we're happy camping. At least we got our Black Orchestra in the bin. So that's pretty good. This server doesn't work anymore. Okay, I'm going to install the Patchwork. I'm going to use the Patchwork to install the daily casts. Just kidding. I'm going to use the Patchwork to install the daily casts. We have to watch out that we have to play the same old thing. And then when we hit the 0, it'll draw us 300 cards. And then we'll pass turn. Oh my God, I forgot we had to pass turn. So we'll throw out the extra 0, which we don't need. We haven't drawn a Clan Vengeance yet. Second Liberate is a bit much. The Hacktivist is not incredibly relevant. This is so good in an acid matchup. This is not that acidy of a matchup. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, there's a chance the Liberate's the worst card in their hand. Off-world if it's printed in a way that wouldn't get banned. Yeah. I wonder if sports could just be Blame Changer or if that deck needed the Vash to be real. I think it did. I was surprised that this list is not Sportsmetal-esque, but... So do you think it's an agenda? It's not advanced, so it looks more like Rashida. We lost a DDoS and the Mad Dash. We got a same old thing, which we should just install so we have some safety. We could just straight stim hack this. We know we break the Gatekeeper for 6. It has a chance of hitting the I've had worse. We can install the daily cast for 1. I think we just install the stim. Like, we don't have to install the same old thing for safety. I think we just stim hack this. If it's a IP block, we can trace. If it's a vanilla, we just throw 9 damage in a core into our own face, which is like good fun. Man, playing old metas that you used to play in is so cool. It's like riding a bicycle. You're gonna not have all the nuance, but it's like very interesting to be in the same sort of decision space that you have been a long time ago. We could also just run it. If it's a drafter, it's like pretty bad, but it usually is. So I guess we could start with the 0 and just hope it doesn't hit the same old thing. It hit the Liberator, that's fine. So we have an MK Ultra, which we could hard install. We are kind of incentivized to throw it out. So I'm just going to say that Eric can score this out. He'll be on 7 credits, so he can score it at 3-1 or 3-2. I don't think that's that bad for us. So we will set up. I'll put this down for safety, and then we'll install money. So we'll use the daily cast off the MK Ultra. Install this for 1. Imagine Topon, but better. And like a second David's a bit greedy, but I mean, we can get away with it. I think I'll just take 4 credits. Patrick the MK, yeah, for sure. We'd want to get it discarded. So it looks like no snap score. Could just be an Arella, not a Rashida. Hedge fund. Now we want to run it. Okay, this hand has 1 Clan Vengeance in the bin. We have access to not a Fractor, but everything else. So we could stim hack this. If it's a vanilla, we're upset. So I guess we 0 first. Don't hit the stim hack. We hit the steel skin, so we have all our breakers. So now what we want to do is we want to install the Clan Vengeance using the Patchwork to throw at our paperclip, and then we're guaranteed to be able to stim hack the server, which is kind of rad. So we're going to install the Clan Vengeance. We're going to use Patchwork. We're going to throw out a Fractor. So now all our breakers are in the bin, and we're going to get a charge here. So we'll just stim hack server 1. And now we have 23 credits to work with, 9 from the bank, and we'll take a core damage, which will likely charge us up. Well, it definitely will charge up the Clan Vengeance. Fairchild. Okay. Forgot about this. Vanilla, yeah, surprise MVP. Like 0 cost is good. F me, I missed this game. Ian, me too. Like it's sick. Wait, Classique's kind of cool. So we hit the Fairchild. We can hard break it for 9. We could just David it. I think we just David this. It costs us 9 to break most of it. I think we just David it because we know we're going to spend 6 on this and then 5 to trash. So we'll just use David. We don't actually have to break all the subroutines. We could throw out like the liberated accounts. Technically it saves 3 credits, but like having a David with 1 counter is actually pretty useful. So this might be a mistake. I don't know if we were meant to break all of this. What a game this was. I mean, it's still pretty recognizable, which is like kind of sick. So Black Orchestra, that will break. So we still have a lot of money. We'll break all of it. You can force a shuffle, which is kind of fun. Sometimes that matters. Then we'll touch an agenda and then Arella. Ooh, Rashida. And I think we have the money for Arella. I let FC kill the Liberate instead of the David counters and beat me too. Yeah. I think it was way better that we don't just hit break all like we're not thinking about it. So we got our first Clan Vengeance counter. So now Eric has to be scared because we want to hit the counter every turn, and every turn we'll get a 0, and then we'll do something else that takes damage. We have pretty sure we fired Patchwork on the Clan Vengeance. We can throw out the Black Orchestra, no problem. So I think we just hit the Liberate accounts, which means, yeah, what we did was maybe not the best. We can run HQ. I don't love running last click because then you can just draw with Sportsmetal, and then you feel pretty safe because you can't snipe the card. Installing this Liberate also might not be the worst thing. It puts us down on credits this turn, but like this server costs us 3 to check. And we're dripping 4. Yeah, maybe we'll be greedy. If Eric doesn't jam, we'll definitely Fisk and say, oh my God. Okay, so this does jam, but we can still Fisk him because he drew a lot of cards there. So he has to jam an agenda, but if he doesn't have Seamless, so he has to Biotic a 4-2, which like he can afford to do. It cost him 7, but he gets 2 back, so it's 5 to score. It's pretty good. Oh, he didn't push, so we can throw the book at him. We can Fisk into 0 and just like start messing him up. In theory, you're not meant to Fisk for tempo. We're nearly at the bottom of our deck, so I think we can. Haley versus Argus is such a ride. Oh my God, that must be cool. Also, Runner always favored in Classique seems to be still going strong. Yeah, I mean, Eric doesn't know the matchup too well, so maybe there's things he could be doing. What's up? Yeah, no stress. Do it up. I mean, we can make him draw 9. No, you're good. So Clan Vengeance notably is not unique, so we should install this Clan Vengeance, throwing out the Black Orchestra, then we'll hit 0. So we're just going to do a bunch of all the things that we want to do. So then we'll 0, which like could hit something bad. That's fine. So now we can mill 3 cards out of 9 when start a turn happens. The DDoS is not awful because this was installed. We could sure gamble. We're going to discard the Patchwork. We can keep the MK Ultra in our hand because it's fine if we need it, if we get like Arc Lockdown. So yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think we want to show the DDoS. I think we'll do DDoS run if we get pushed, which we'll probably will be. And we have to discard a card, so we'll just throw out the second Patchwork. Classique rules. We have a big case of Classique matchups here in Milwaukee and have run a couple events. So much fun to haul out. I mean, I should have this just as like a board game somewhere. It's kind of cool. Okay, so it has to be an Arella, has to be a thing, and an advancement. So it's either an NGO or an agenda. I think Eric is likely to jam an NGO considering how the last thing went. He still has to discard cards, which is good for us. Oh, he could score out a 5-3 from here. You have 2 Vengeance? Yeah, we have 2 Vengeance, which means next turn we can mill 5 cards. Like we can wipe his whole hand. The thing is, if we run Archives, he refills his hand. But next turn when we hit the 0, we can go. You need to pop them before the levy? You don't have to pop both of them. It's very likely we'll only pop one before the levy. Because like with Sportsmetal, it's weird. This does discard random cards, so you don't know what's going to happen. Okay, so then what's the most expensive ice this could be? Because we use the David like a chump. This could be... A toll booth would be bad. A surveyor would be bad. So there's some bad things it could be. Yeah, we messed this up. We used the David really poorly. So we install the DDoS, throwing out the MK Ultra, or the same old thing. Give it a shot. Pitchfork Haley versus Supermodernism Argus is one of my favorite Classic matchups. Install Runner versus Jamming. You got... I'm assuming you have Film Critic in that matchup. Okay. It's also like open decklist Netrunner is just so much fun. So if we run the server, it costs us 3 for the Gatekeeper. If we run first click, we can deal with the Fairchild. If the outermost is a Surveyor or a Toll Booth, we're kind of sad. Like Toll Booth costs us 9. It's not impossible. We could also same old thing for the Stim Hack, but then if the Stim Hack hits the same old thing, we can't levy because we need the same old thing, which costs 2 clicks to play an event. So we spend 2 and then functionally 3 because of Patchwork to play our levy, and then we redraw our whole hand, which is like pretty cool. I think if he scores out, it's not the end of the world. If he scores out his Aqua, he just passes the turn. But he might triple advance Arella and then just like get the next thing. So maybe we just move to Disruption. So I could see us like installing the DDoS, hitting the 0, ripping 3 cards and levying all in the same turn. Yeah, I think we're just going to go for the reset. So we'll use this to install that. I think we 0 now. I think we rip 3. Trash David before levy. Yeah, that might have been reasonable that we install the MK Ultra instead. So we have a breaker and the David in the bin. I actually kind of like that. Like this DDoS is actually kind of shit. It's not that good. I think I like that play a bit better. So the question is, do we Clan Vengeance before or after we levy? I think we want to pop the Clan Vengeances right when he reses the Arella. So I think we'll wait on both of these and then we'll just have... I mean, maybe we just pop 1 Clan Vengeance. David over DDoS 100%. Yeah, David over DDoS makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, I like that a lot better because getting this back in the deck is good, and this actually doesn't matter on this board state that much. Yeah, I don't like what we've done. But that's one of the things about the bin breakers is you can't choose to install them. You're locked in there with me. I mean, I have a same old thing. Yeah, I think he's missing the fact that I can just do it. Like you can't stop the recursion. This is the turn that if we don't do anything, he could arc lockdown us. He could have arc lockdown on tempo to like get rid of the 2 levies if he saw them, and then we're kind of cooked. We have to win by the Liberateds, which is not awful. But the big thing is like, how do we use these Clan Vengeances? Because I think if we same old thing levy, we're not in the worst spot. The Clan Vengeance is getting him back into the deck is like, it's okay. The ancient magic. I mean, I think we maybe crack these after he reses the Rella. At least we'll crack one of them. I think we'll crack the 3-1. So I think we'll just go for it. Because if we can't pass the turn and let him arc lock down us because we lose. So we do that. We have to discard a card. Same old thing is less useful. And then when, right before he scores, we'll fire this Clan Vengeance. I actually think there might be an NGO front, though. We made the right call. It's an NGO front. He's getting money. I don't know if he needs money. But that has to be an NGO front. Otherwise, yeah, I would score out. If you play Argus with full unearned confidence and jam, it leads to a very tense endgame where you, Haley, has all the tools in theory, but one false move kills. I played a lot of Haley back then. I felt like the Argus needs an absurd draw. Yeah, I played so much Wayland into like Shaper from that era. And it was like, unless you drew really well, they're usually pretty favored. Okay, so we can rip the hand, but we want to get this Clan Vengeance to 5. Titanium Ribs, I don't think is actually worth the install here. I do think the Fisk is pretty good, but Titanium Ribs just says we choose the cards that will get discarded, and it does meet damage itself, which is like reasonable. So hopefully we hit a Steel Skin or something with this. So we'll just draw 3 for both of us. The Hacktivist actually can mess up what we think is the NGO front, because I'm pretty sure if it was an agenda, it would just go. So like playing the Hacktivist is okay. DDoS is not unique for whatever that doesn't exactly matter. So I think we can do the Ribs. We'll pay full cost. So we can choose the damage. We'll get rid of the DDoS and I think the same old thing. So now we're at 4-3. We could mill 7, which is a lot, but he will self-mill to some extent. We could play the Hacktivist too, which is not bad. We're not doing much here. Like we don't have a lot of card draw. We didn't hit the 0 button. So I think we just hit the 0 and we do Hacktivist 0. We choose the damage, of course. All right. So now when he reses non-agenda cards like the NGO front or the Rella, he gets caught. This Classic matchup is wicked awesome. Let's see more wild decks. I mean, droids, it's sick. It's kind of fun. I think Classic's pretty cool. This is our second game because like we played it once and I was like, run it back. Okay, so he reses the NGO front, so he loses a card. Admittedly, it's bad to play the Hacktivist into this turn because like he has cards to burn, but they're random cards. Just make sure when you're grabbing them, you don't flip them face up because you game lost yourself. So we can mill the whole deck, his whole hand. But I think we're going to just pop the Clan Vengeance next turn to mill him off of the... Like, we'll respond to this. Oh, hold on. Wait a second. Hold on. Might use a window. After he biotics, he should wait for an action. So he double biotics. So I think he's going to score at something. I mean, I'm good now. I'm good. He has 5 cards in hand. Still good. No, I'm going to pop this now. I'm assuming this is not a 3-2, but we might as well just crack it there. He also can't res the Urella because the Urella requires an additional cost. Not that he has a card in hand to install. You're a pig? Yeah, Urella gives an additional cost. So he's going to get an ice on the remote server. Or he could also get a Vitruvius counter, which is really good in the matchup. We have the other Clan Vengeance waiting, so we get in this really weird, unfortunate Wild West game where anytime he mandatory draws or like clicks to draw, like we can Clan Vengeance this. Looks like Andre's the villain tonight. I mean, Cranked, I think we're doing okay. Today we oink. That has to be an agenda. He biotic that, right? All right, start a turn. We have an I've had worse. Mind you, now we can put the damage into it. There's 12 cards in archives, so running archives could just win. The issue is we played the David like an absolute monkey and we have no other breakers. So we could like DDoS run this and hope. But if this is vanilla, we're in a pretty bad spot. Man, Classic's kind of sick. So there has to be like a lot of points in archives. So I think we could check it. This, if it's a Vitruvius, I think you'd push it through. I think the runner deck is somewhat close in power level to the sport. So we're big villain energy today, Cranked. Somehow close in power level to the sports. So, I mean, I think we can 0 for all the card draw, but we're gonna run out of cards. Like we definitely 0 this turn. Well, not even definitely. We probably 0 this turn. We 0 like the Hacktivist because I don't think we want to hit the same old thing. The I've had worse, excuse me. Okay, David's good. David means we can do this. We can trash this David. Not that it's coming back. Actually, no, we don't trash it because we can feed it to Fairchild. So I think we can do David run. We could crack a DDoS. If it's a drafter or architect, it's really bad because we don't have our MK Ultra. So actually like face checking into this being an architect is I wouldn't say game losing, but pretty bad. Because Architect does install from the top 5 of R&D and Archives or HQ. So it's not like a spin doctor. It's actually not the end of the world. Because there's no defensives. Yo, Michael, how's it going? Yeah, we're playing Classique. It's sick. Kind of into it. Okay. So I can see us doing David run. We could spend say 3, throw out David. No, we just have to break this a bit smarter. The thing is we get hit by Architect. I think or Surveyor is not that bad because we have David. I think we just do David run because this has to be an agenda. Well, Patchwork. I think the same old thing. Same old thing into like Stimhack is better than I think it is. I think the same old things are actually pretty good also because of Mad Dash. Like I would Mad Dash the server if we had it. But we also have to watch out that we don't lose to what's called vanilla. This is wild to me. Which part? I think David could exist in the meta and it wouldn't be the most toxic thing. Not running archives? No rush. You were sports. Okay, it is an architect. Oh, I was meant to fire the DDoS. I'm a monkey. Whatever. Too bad we can't swap the I've had worse for steel skins. Solomir. Yeah, it would be somewhat better. So this fires. I totally forgot to DDoS this run. This card's not the end for us, but it's pretty bad. It doesn't add cards from archives, it just installs them. So you can put an agenda on the table. You can even overinstall this agenda, but then it's in archives. And there's no defensive, so like it's fine. Also just rezzing upgrades is hard. Looks like they put a lot of work into this year's decks. I'm sad for the side event, probably won't get streamed. Yeah. I hope people have a great time. I mean, yeah, it looks like a lot of work went into this. Like the write-up is so good too. Mm-hmm. You now look at the top 5 and install one of those. I think the ordinal is public. But I'm not sure. Actus is making the Architect fire a little worse at least. Yeah. Well, these are probably agendas, right? I don't think they're Rashidas. I don't know. Yeah, position 1. So it was the top of R&D. Yeah, the DDoS. I don't want to talk about the DDoS. This could have been a killer. Vanilla, no! No, my nemesis. All right. So we can run one of these. I'll run the top card. A David died for the DDoS respect. Yeah, I messed it up. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So we can rip the hand. If this is a Rashida, you lose a card. You go up 3. I don't know what this agenda is. We have one more Clan Vengeance somewhere. We're not playing this cleanly. Like we made a couple mistakes here and they really do matter. So he went for money, not card draw, which I think he's scared of Clan Vengeance. This was on the top of R&D. This was from archives. And like he doesn't have a nano in hand, a biotic. He's played 2, so there's one more somewhere. I just don't want to run archives because he draws a whole thing. Yeah, vanilla is so good. We probably should have tried to get our paperclip on the table before like decking out. Because like this server is totally manageable. Advance. Cool. Nope. Hold on. No. Yeah, because if he advances and reses a relic, he has a 1 in 3 shot of milling the agenda he wants. This 5 counter CV is going to hit off of an Fisk investment. Yeah. You have Bryo. So he can advance, res, but when he reses, he mills a card. So he has a not insignificant chance of hitting the card he wanted to install with the Rella. So Remort Enforcement gets an ice on the remote, which like the DDoS now is super silly. Running archives and then vengeance for 6. Yeah, it does fork him a bit. Think we're pretty safe. Run archives. Yeah. Surveyor on 10. I mean, David breaks us for 1 counter. We float tags. We don't care. And he does cleanse the current, but he has to have a card in hand that he can install. Okay. So he has an advancement on it. So if this is not a Jeeves, we don't have to run this because there's only 1 card in Iqua that can win the game here. And he needs this to be a Jeeves. So we're doing okay. We lost the Mad Dash, which sucks because like Mad Dash archives here would be so good. It could just win actually. So I don't think we want to Fisk. I think we just run archives and pop the Clan Vengeance after. Let's see what happens. Server 3, we have to deal with it. Lol. Oh, that's 7 points. I mean, we got him. Doesn't matter what he does. GG. That was a good vengeance. So yeah, he did not have the Vitruvius in the remote server, which could have saved this. We'll take exactly. We found the last echo, which matters. But the vengeance, like when you fill the hand, especially right before they score out, and then you just like blow them up, it's so good. And we get to see all the stuff that we're scared of. Man, that vanilla was so good. I messed up my program recursion. It was a pretty different game, yeah, for sure. These decks can build some pretty different board states. Yeah, very different game than our first game. Looking back, why no Fisk? Because we can't do that much damage, and we expected to run archives that Eric would draw cards. So like we can mill 5 or 6. We can't mill, you know, like 11. Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. It looks like a lot of fun. Series CV was a moment in Netrunner history for sure. Yeah. I was a way bigger fan of playing Clan Vengeance without Zero. And I remember winning a store championship where I played Clan Vengeance when Zero got banned. But Clan Vengeance, either Zero didn't exist or got banned. Yeah, this is sick. Really good. I don't know what all the matchups are, but like if you want to play Classique, specifically if you don't know and you haven't played with the cards back in the day, like it is a really cool way to experience this game that's been around for such a long time. Yo, good games, Eric. That was actually like pretty rad. They were like the last game, not this game, but the game before, where it was like exactly the remote server loses to Ikawa with a click and all that. And then this game too mismanaged my Davids, where like you need to use David on Fairchild a bit smarter, where you don't just blast all. You generally like blast 1 and then like trash a thing, lose 3. Like that's way better than blasting all of it. Because then when I ran back, I couldn't deal with the Surveyor super easily, right? Like super interesting. You played much Eternal, but CV with Banhar is such a rush. And the fact that every single subroutine fires Clan Vengeance on Banhar is like nonsense. Super, super nonsense. Also, the Arc Lockdown was here. So, Eric, I don't know if you were planning to Arc Lockdown my my levies, because if you do, I lose, probably. Did we get to do some Arella combo? No, this is not full Arella combo. This is just like Arella as a tempo piece. There were decks that could score like 7 points from hand with Arella in Sansan City Grid, or like, sorry, not Sansan. It was like Mumbed Virtual Tour. One more time. With Breaker Bay Grid and calibration testing and then team sponsorships, there were decks that could in standard just do that. You dropped an Arc down on turn 1. Oh, you discarded it. Okay. Yeah, fair. I mean, you don't keep it on turn 1 if your hand is like that. The fact that you pushed an agenda behind Gatekeeper, I was like, there's no way this is an agenda. This has to be an NGO front, because if I face check, you're bankrupt. And then you didn't pop the NGO front. I'm like, oh my God, it is an agenda. And corporate sales team, I think, was actually not as good as maybe a remote enforcement, but it gave you the 10 credits that you definitely needed because it was an NGO front. Yeah, Gatekeeper shuffled 4, yeah. But yeah, did not think you'd push behind a Gatekeeper, because like that's the weird fork. It's like if it's a Fairchild and you res yourself and bankrupt yourself, I'll click through it pretty happy. But if it's a Gatekeeper, I technically want to drop the David. But it's also likely to be an IP block, which like is annoying, or a vanilla, which is like a hard end to run. Yeah, corporate sales team is not bad. I do think if we ever going to see a new offered office, it has to be like this, where you get the money slowly, right? Like has 9 credits, you get 3 at the start of every your turn, something like that. This one's a bit fiddly, but it's really also fun with this works with Zwicky in a really cool way. Go Feral for Arc Lockdown Ashen unbanned in standard. I mean, Arc Lockdown's not a fun card. It's such a miserable card. Did wish I had more gas early? Yeah, I think you have to feed me agendas. I think you just keep pushing and say go. You got your setup so fast. I mean, Max draws free cards. It is so good. And we got an early patchwork. So every turn we're getting 2 credits for free and a card draw, which like, take that, Hoshiko. Yeah, how's it going? I liked your comment on the last stream. Hopefully that the lessons have been going well. You res Team Spo back then, 3x Cali testing, res for free. Yeah, that deck rips. So there was this combo in which you had a card that saw a lot of play actually. Not exactly this deck, but earlier, called Breaker Bay Grid, which is a really neat card. It's a 0-2, so reasonable numbers. It's neutral. It was your region, and it just says cards are basically free to res in the server. Not ice, but cards in this root of the server. So that was reasonable when we constantly played cards like Adonis Campaign or Eve Campaign. Adonis was not a terrible econ card. It's a bit slow for 26 play. But this card gave you 8 credits. As much as the tempo negative the first turn, after that point forward, it was pretty good. And the game was slow enough that this was reasonable. Kind of goofier, and this is a very ONR card, is Eve Campaign, which is tempo negative for the first like 5 to 7 turns. But on the 8th turn, oh my God, it gave you 11 credits. That's really good. And then it's very, very expensive to trash. The reason what you did with these eventually is you just put them on a Breaker Bay Grid and you res them for free, so it was pretty good. But what people ended up doing is a Breaker Bay Grid would res a calibration testing. Calibration testing says that you can trash it, you res it for free. You trash this, put a token on an agenda. So you scored an agenda. You use Arella Salvatore to install the next agenda from your hand, and you put an advancement on it. And then you fire team sponsorship, which functionally is like the powers that be, but it was not unique and had a huge butt. It had a 4 trash cost instead of 3. And it says whenever you score an agenda, you may install a card from archives or HQ. So you scored, you reinstalled the calibration testing. It was on a breaker break grid. You resed it for free. You reloaded another agenda on top of it, and you just kept going and kept going and kept going. And you could score out 7 points. There was even specifically a card that I don't remember the name of it. Research Grant, I think, which a lot of people don't know this. This person here is Lucas Litzinger, who is the original designer of Netrunner back in 2012 when the game got rebooted. So this is Lucas Litzinger. And it says when you score a Research Grant, you may search for another copy of Research Grant. And of course, every time you score in Sportsmetal, you can either gain 2 or draw 2. So you actually can combo out. It does need a couple things to stick on the table for 2 turns, but there was competitive decks that would score 5, 6, 7 points from hand. This is sports combo. I hated Eve Campaign when it released. They rezzed it in the remote and my eyes rolled back in my head. I mean, it's very ONR coded. Like the numbers are just so silly and it's so expensive. Yeah, this is Lucas Linker. It kind of looks like him. It's not the best representation of Lucas if you ask me. But the other thing that a lot of people, I guess it's a little Easter egg, is that LLDS was the name that showed up on a lot of cards through the history of the game. And LLDS stands for Lucas Litzinger, Damon Stone, which were 2 of the main designers on the game for the first like 5-6 years. Very cute. Yeah, very, very cool. In this house, breaker bay grid res is hostile infrastructure only. Gross. I guess the closest thing we have to breaker bay grid is whatever that grid is that I don't remember the name of, but sing some play. Hell yeah, run together. Hell yeah, Jai coaching. Hell yeah, Hexnet, how's it going? That was sick. We played 2 rounds of Clan Vengeance MaxX. That was really good. Just like DZMZ, yeah. Is actually DZ also named after the designers? Oh, Magoda. Yeah, Magoda. Yeah, I wouldn't say Vovo. It's Magoda because Magoda reses things cheaply. It's the best I got. I don't know. It's a neutral grid. That's what we have. Does Lucas actually get a designer credit on the core box? Oh, of course he did. Of course he did. Netrunner rules PDF 2012. Is this actually going to work? Yeah. Producer. Lucas Litzinger. Game development, Lucas Litzinger. He gets the credit. Yeah. He was the Netrunner guy for a long time. I think at this point, Damon Stone wasn't even working on the project. No, it wasn't. Zoe Robinson, I think, is still the art director. Oh my God. Damon, Stormageddon, Dark Lord of all Stone? What? So a bunch of these people, like, you know these names as Netrunner people. Some of them still play Netrunner. But Damon, Stormageddon, Dark Lord of all Stone? What the heck? I have never heard anybody call him that. That's incredible. That's there in the core set? That's absurd. Anyways, Zoe Robinson, I think, is still the art director at FFG. Has been since like the last decade or so. Stormageddon, Dark Lord of all. I have never heard that. That is kind of sick. That is so funny. I mean, designer, yeah, he does have, well, yeah. I think the design is Richard Garfield, but he is the person who like took the design and made it, you know, what it is today. I gotta get a better nickname in my NSG credits. I mean, yeah, that is a credit. I will never refer to him in another way. That's so funny. Yeah, we all one day will have cool names like that. It just takes time. It takes time. Don't stress about it. It'll happen. Yeah, the creator Richard Garfield. Yeah, Richard Garfield gets the full credit. I mean, there's a lot of different people that are pulled into this. Like Talsorian gets credited somewhere, I'm assuming. It's here. It's a trademark of Talsorian Games, right? Like Netrunner is a weird thing. Well, Wizards of the Coast actually gets licensing in the book. I didn't know that. Patrick nicknamed Sklar was not too popular. Meant that he was a developer. That's a fact. Yeah, he was a developer because he didn't design the game. He just took the game and then made the rules palatable and attached it to the Android universe. And he made it make a lot more sense with the LCG model. Yeah, Lucas is a really clever dude. Executive game designer Corey Konichka. This is the Radlands guy, right? Yeah. No. Maybe? Is this the guy who made Radlands? Because I know he's the guy who made 3,000 Scoundrels and the Initiative. Initiative is pretty cool. I don't think this is the person I think it is. Who's the Radlands guy? It's another Polish name, isn't it? Oh yeah, Daniel Peichnik. Okay, not at all. The other place you get a Netrunner credit jump scares isn't Slay the Spire. Yes, yeah, one of the big Slay the Spire guys was like the original person who made StimHack. Which StimHack real anymore? StimHack, which was a forum and a website. But yeah, one of the original was the Stimhack person. So there's a lot of Netrunner lore here. Patrick J. Clark. Corey's had done a ton of. Yeah, I know Corey's name. It's from the Doctor Who episode with James Corden. What? Okay. Anyways, let's play something else. So there's not a lot of news. It's a Thursday night. Man, yeah, wow. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that format. The thing I wanted to play today is this, which is LEO. Like, people have kind of given up on this, and metrixgo did great at the AOC, coming in third with this list called She. Why LEO? The runner wins by running. We can let the runner stop running, and when they really want to, you force themselves to spend tons of resources. I mean, it's LEO Glacier, which, like, at this point, playing like, there's this thing when you're a content creator or just like a certain Netrunner kind of profile where you want to play the thing that people aren't playing, and now apparently HB is just like the black sheep in the room of sorts. So like playing HB Glacier, which was like a competitive deck at Worlds last year, is now just a weird thing to be doing. This list also is a bit of a weird list. It has Let Them Dreams, which I have no doubt the deck that does lose on Centrals like enjoys. We've seen the cursed LEOs with only 7 agendas. This is slightly more, but that's kind of cool. We have a single Charlotte, which, like, I don't get this one. We don't have any like install advanced synergies in this list. In theory, install advanced looks like an agenda, but not always, because you're the deck that plays seamless, but it does look like a 5/3. So if they run it, they run it. At the end of the day, install advanced Charlotte, it's like, it's pretty okay. Every time you advance Charlotte, you're basically spending a click to get, if it fires, like 2 credits in a card draw, which is not a bad click, don't get me wrong, but it forces you to do it turn after turn after turn, which, I mean, it's not like you're doing that much else at LEO, but it's weird. And like, if this is in your remote server, how do you push the humanoid? I have no idea how this works. In terms of the operations, we have Caveat, Hedge Fund, and Petty Cash, which are the 9 targets you can play with humanoid, which is great. We're trying to build. We don't have Anoetic. I think like Anoetic influence might make sense in this list. We're playing 2 Botus, which I really want to see how this works. It's barriers are nice. They're taxing. I do think Brawn is way more taxing than Botu. And the big reason is that a propeller doesn't get through a Brawn twice. Well, it gets through a Botu twice. And Botu also does have text that hurts you to some extent. So you have to watch out for that. Mersha's good. Tranquility is really important. The write-up talks about like protect your tranquilities. It's the most money, and it is. This card's absurd. And we only have 1 true defensive upgrade. So I do think we're actually gonna have to bluff on some board states. And maybe that's where the texture of the Charlotte goes like pretty interesting. In terms of the sentries, 3 Boomies, pretty common, but we're on 2 Drafters, 1 Event Horizon. I do really like playing Drafters on the basis that like it's the one bad face check, because most times you can face check into Biroids and you don't care because you can click through the bad stuff. And so Drafter is like, it's not perfect because it's not a Biroid, but it has really good text. Event Horizon, that's our defensive upgrade, which works really well with LEO, where you can force 2 clicks out of the server, especially with like running 3 Meliuses, or when you run is as important as how often can you run. And then instead of the Code Gates, we're only playing 3 Sleipnirs, which is a really good card, but we're not playing any MICs or any Fly Swatters, which are both cards I would definitely consider, especially because MIC works really well with our text. So I don't know. I like the Sykes package. I'm surprised by it, but I mean, it makes some amount of sense. But I think we're just going to play some good old fashioned LEO Glacier and try and score some points out. See how it is. I met Damon Stone last year at a swing dance event in Singapore, truly Renaissance event. He was really big into like ballroom and competitive dancing, which like is a scene I know very little about. I'm convinced ballroom dancing is like chess. I think someone told me this, and I can't tell if it's real or not, where in ballroom dancing, you like make moves and you're trying to like pin people and push them off the board. I'm embarrassed to say that out loud because that's probably not right. But like, yeah, ballroom dancing is it's actually way more interesting than I think a lot of people expect it to be. I also, how many ballrooms are there? Like, imagine needing a ballroom to do your hobby. I just need a table. I actually been thinking of switching back to LEO and seeing what I can do with it. Yeah, there you go. There's Patrick trying to be the hipster out there. He's like, yeah, no one's playing this now. No, I can do it. Mutual friend alerted me to his existence. I never met Damon. Seems like a nice dude. I think I saw him at Worlds. I don't think we've talked. Daily 58. Okay, I don't know what's going on. He autographed my Stronger Together in like a respectful way or in a weird mean way. Hey. Best of luck, have fun. Stronger Together was a very bad identity, which Damon Stone has always been quoted as like, we've done the math, it's good. There's a chance the math was okay, but it definitely was not ever good. So that's a meme. Damon did get bullied a bit. I would actually say a fair bit, unfortunately. But he also was like very brash about some of his opinions that I would not agree with. So yeah, it gets a bit weird. Okay, so Dayweed, don't know. 58, don't know. So we have Brawn for the remote, Sleipnir for centrals. I'm not too worried about Dayweed doing anything on turn 1 besides Illumination. But like, I don't think we can push a Charlotte behind a Brawn because, well, you can't. So we'll probably do Sleipnir on HQ, click for some credits. I mean, it's good that we have an econ piece. Ballroom Dancing is a battle royale. I think it is, but I can't be right about that. He autographed it with do the math, which is an amazing callback. Okay, sick. If he did it, that's amazing. Okay, we have a caveat. I'm not worried about giving a shaper an extra click on this turn. I would be worried if deep dive is a threat, but I think we can just do a caveat. We can ice HQ, put the Brawn on the remote server, and the next turn we can do it Charlotte Advanced Managarm, and we'll leave R&D open, I guess. It's more likely Davies playing Illumination than playing Burner, so we could leave HQ open, I guess. So we'll do get some money. No, we have the Charlotte. We should ice HQ. There's a chance with most agendas in R&D we should ice R&D. All my ballroom dancing competitions are hosted by Takeshi Kitano. This is how you give them an extra credit card and ritual. I mean, they're 58 cards. So let's see if they have it. If they are, I'm excited for him. Nah, he just drew. He was always a great sport for all the shit commentary laid on him. Damn it. I mean, I knew we should have played around this. So we'll see how many they have. But yeah, we iced HQ instead of R&D. I mean, maybe with an open HQ with a keep, you don't run HQ anyways. But we just gave them like 7 clicks. I think this card is nonsense. We could have played around it a bit. He was always a great sport. I don't think he was I'm not saying he wasn't a great sport, but I think it got to a point where it was so bad that he had to like leave communities. Like I think you can be a good sport, but then at some point where it's too much of it, you're just like, I'm out. And like yeah, I get that. Slab Vandal on HQ, I mean, not bad into the Sleipnir. We're gonna fire an environmental testing with a single run. Like, come on now. Oh my god, we did nice R&D. I hate this. There's a random pits of deep lore and strategy for obsessive small communities. Of course, ballroom dancing is a competitive art. I just need a table says the man into a microphone in front of lights and a C-stand in the background. I could do this with a phone, but I enjoy playing games more than I enjoy streaming. It's fun to do both. The C-stand is just for the lights. I don't use it anyway. Being a good sport 5 or 10 years removed from the event is also very different from being a good sport when you're inactive in the role. Oh yeah, for sure. There's less pressure on you. And then if someone remembers it, they're like, oh shit, what you did mattered to them, which is always like really cute. I mean, read, share, did Dawi flip? No, Dawi has not flipped yet. Okay, Sleipnir, they saw that. I don't think we have to push the Managarm. They don't really have the money to contest this. If they click through it, it's actually pretty bad for us. So I think we can just leave R&D open, because what are they going to do? Illumination us again? Don't answer the question. But like Brawn, Managarm is a good fork. Maybe we'll score out the Proprio. And like Proprio's kind of cool with Charlotte. It's kind of cool. Like worst case, he drops a Conduit. Fills Dawi. I mean, this was a 58 card deck. We're down to 47 in stack on turn 2. Not too bad. It was a 5-click turn too. So they had an extra click to draw. So Dawi says when you make a successful run, if your MU is full, you flip. Madani makes sense. Doesn't give you more MU, which sometimes you do want extra MU because selling your MU is not uncommonly a way to make Dawi flip and unflip. But we'll see. We need hand size for this card to be good. We're undoing it. He did have a massive vent on Reddit a few months ago about all the crap he used to get from the community back in the day. That's the sort of stuff that I imagine. Yeah, ain't no stress. Okay. So we have a window of sorts. I don't know how consistent their deck will be contesting. Just even a Managar might be a problem. But they're about to get 18 credits. They installed environmental testing so they can install the Madani, and then they realize, wait, I have no money. I mean, we've all been there. That's really funny. Saucy. Okay. I mean, that's a lot of Trojans in Dawi. We might just never res this and keep our HQ clean. 50-50 to steal an agenda here. If we res a Sleipnir, they get 3. We have a Sleipnir. They break it for 1 of the Sleipnir credits. I'm okay for this 50-50. I would love to trash 2 Trojans. Nice, nailed it. So we can just replace this because then we trash 2 Trojans in 1. So we'll res the Charlotte. Fuck. I misclicked. Oh, there was a painful misclick. Excuse me, nothing to see. Misclick. There's a really painful misclick on. I started rewatching or watching for the first time some of the American online content for the Continentals, and there was a miss pinhole from Kato, and it feels so bad. Okay, so we have a Spin Doctor, we have a Seamless. We want to advance the Charlotte. We can put the Spin on the table. We can put the Sleipnir here. Knowing this is not an anoetic really does suck. And you know exactly what it is. Very good. So what? We could just do the Spin Doctor and draw. This deck doesn't have as much ice as you think it might. Okay, that's a bit worse. So I think we just replace this. And then we just advance Charlotte. We say cool. The say what joke I think went over their head. The chat says a skunk happened. Didn't see it. Yeah, their stuff is gone. I mean, Saucy's influence. Only one actually, not that bad. So they're one install away from clicking for credit Madani go to 9. The thing is Madani needs cards in hand, so they really need a card draw option. They have opened their MU though, so Daewee can get there. If you want to run, you get a card draw. So R&D is like not a bad run. We'd love to just get like a little drafter there. Freed up their MU. Yeah, exactly. We did this. Honestly, I was like, wait, how's their MU full? And I don't think I pieced it together that we were the reason that happened. All right, so they saw a thing, they drew a thing. I mean, Madani really needs a Nuka here. You need card draw. Because like filling one card, I sleep filling 10 cards. Okay, we're talking. We love Emersha. I mean, they had a hand. He just showed Chromatophores. Okay, Chromatophores is tricky to play around, but we're fine. Okay, we got the Botu. We have a lot of agendas. I think an Ingatan with a counter makes sense. And we can give up on Charlotte. I don't know if they can deal with a Braun Managarm. I guess they could. They could just click through it. So we might just need a Botu there and leave R&D open. We're holding about half the agendas in our deck, so it's not unreasonable. So we would have to do like install Botu, install Ingatan, and then probably just advance Charlotte. If we advance her, we click for 2. It's not that good. So we could put the Trank in there, and then the Ingatan can fire the Trank. This also makes the board state more complicated. There's a chance we're pushing too fast. Like we might want to stabilize a couple more credits, but like they can't really do anything here. So filling 10 cards on Madani is the good stuff, and then you sit across from that 10-second Madani and Infinite Despair. Oh, no, yeah, it's the card is good when you do it. I hate it when it happens. Daewee has flipped 2 times in 3 turns. Unprecedented. It's pretty good. Wait, you don't have the MU. Oh, you do have the MU to support this. I mean, it looks like, oh, I mean, they installed this and didn't hit the trigger, and now they're going to whiff the trigger again. So like at what cost? I don't know if that's the play. Because like this misses now 2 triggers. So it's just a 2 MU brick, which like Daewee technically wants here. Daewee can run and get a credit. Kind of funny. Daewee is a ton of fun stuff. I would actually highly recommend it. I think Daewee is like one of the most fun runners in the format. And like, she's not terrible. She's just like harder to play than Maggie and harder to play than Lat. And like, you need to be interacting, and certain matchups interacting is not what you want to be doing. I don't even know if we got to see a good, like Laura is the best, but I don't know if we got to see a good tournament gameplay where Laura flipped Daewee that much. Like they were always like, oh, Daewee flipped 4. Is that good? And the answer was like, maybe. Okay, so you can crack the read-write share. I'm not in a rush to score this. He has more money than we think he has. But I could see us doing like draw this, and then next turn we can score. The problem is we're not firing the Trank, which hurts. Turns out Laura was just, I know, and then Laura ended up playing like Lat and like doing better, unfortunately, but the open server. So the read-write gets cracked, so now they can run archives. They can install a Pichashon here or Chromatophores just to get the 9, but they're no rush. I think we are financially overextending because if we res Botu Braun, we're kind of cooked. Managarm, like this actually is bad. We might have wanted to cook the Managarm a bit more. Sorry, the Charlotte. Pichashon can get the Charlotte back, which is something he has to deal with, but he has 18 credits. Yeah, I think if we're going to have Charlotte, you should use Charlotte more than we did. This is a good hand. Shapers love run this. They don't run this one. They run this one. We're pretty good into deep dive because of Melius and LEO's text. Seemingly they're on Melius, but also seemingly they're on Urban Art Vernissage. Rule number 1 of Charlotte. The first time you think I can overinstall the Charlotte, you're wrong. I know, Jai. And like, you'd think I would have figured that out by now, but every time you trash Charlotte, you're like, wait, I miss her. I mean, the Ingatan kind of lured us into it because we can get it back. Jesus. How did we get that many clicks? So we had 5 cards in hand? No, I guess 3 of these are new. So it's SMC, Muse, Monkey Wrench. I mean, I don't like playing against Madani. I have to play around this shit. I have to know SMC Muse at instant speed all the time. I mean, that shouldn't sound that bad, but it is. I think that was every Trojan in the format. I would really appreciate a magnet. Okay, so we res the drafter. He probably goes and gets Muse into Phaserum. No matter what, he's getting a click from this. And Dawy's going to draw a card, which is pretty good. But I don't think we can afford to res this, because if we do, I'm just going to ask for action so he could get a bird, I guess. But if we res this... Is your deck on 3 Boomy? Oh, shut up. Yeah, that is the magnet. Yeah, you're right. We're in a good spot. I think we just let this through. You can have a click. It's fine. Dawy's cool. Dawy's pretty cool. She's slightly clumsier than you want her to be. And I think it's just that KK is slightly clumsier than you want it to be. Because her anti-synergy with KK is like kind of high if you end up on the wrong side. That's correct. Like, again, there's only 10 points and 34 cards. Okay, he gets a click back, which is pretty good. I don't know if he's going to SMC for a conduit. It's a bit expensive. Gets the Dawy draw. Pretty good. DZ also hasn't fired, so the Pichachon play only costs like 3 credits total. All right, not charging a remote server. I mean, I think he could have. Oh, that's good. So the issue is if we Ingaton for Charlotte, it's trash. It doesn't do anything. Doesn't work. So what do we do here? We definitely want to res this soon. So I could see us doing hedge fund, seamless advance. Our hand likes seamless. But like bring the Charlotte back feels good, but it doesn't do anything. I mean, I think we still do it. So we'll use this counter. We'll put the Charlotte. It gives us 2 credits. Our hand is only agendas. That's perfect. You'll never expect that. I wish we could see Dawy with the World Tree. I mean, it seems pretty good. You have so much control, either MU in or MU out. I think MU in actually works. Because even if the program wasn't there, it wouldn't hit its start a turn trigger, but it would see full MU on successful run. It would actually be quite good. Yeah, that'd be really, really strong. You'd have consistency issues setting up, but seems good. Yeah, I imagine it's strong. We're learning, it's okay. I mean, it's good. Things seem fine. Oh, beans. Yeah, that's hard to fix because you saw a card. Yeah, that's a hard one to fix. Yeah, they ideally want to always Madani on our turn because then DZ becomes a 2 credit per turn cycle, which is way better, let alone Madani is limited. Dan, how's it going? Dan, do I owe you a Patreon shout out? I think I do. Is there any NBN ID we could unban Drago for? Like, ban an ID to trade for Drago? Like a hostage negotiation? I'm not sure I follow. Post Worlds experiment to ban list, give us a World Tree, but ban all the non-Dawy shapers. And then you stop calling it a Shaper faction, you just call it the Dawy faction? I mean, it sounds pretty good. Action? Drago's allowed, oh, only for a single ID. I don't have anything for you on that one. So why I'm asking is in theory, if this is a boomy, you could pre-hush it. I mean, that technically matters. We'll just res a drafter. This one is going to need a Phaserum, but we can't get these runs in for free. Now here you could always like Badani at the SMC and just let the drafter fire. I wouldn't recommend doing it, but you could. The issue is like Dawy's going for singles, but it's hard to win the LEO matchup on singles because you have to touch like 20 cards. Cror, what's up? Accidentally dropped the Patreon membership and then re-upped. I mean, oh, that's sick. Firstly, thank you. I was like, I know somebody we had a new patron and I looked into it and I'm like, wait a second. I think I know who this is. And then I like looked at the Patreon scroll and I'm like, their name's already here. So it was perfect. I went to do the video export today and it's like, this doesn't make any sense. Oh my God, it makes so much sense. Thank you for the support. What if you use a drafter install sub to overinstall the drafter? I mean, there's a chance. There is a chance you do it, and then they don't get the pass. Dax, how's it going? Would you happen to know how long it usually takes for NSG to get the System Gateway remastered back in stock? I've been getting a bunch of my friends into Netrunner, and I think a few of them bought the last copies they had in the shop. Dax, sorry, unfortunately, I don't know. I'm not part of NSG, and then I'm assuming statistically you're not a Canadian, and I buy from the Canadian market, if at all. But like, I bought Netrunner once from NSG, so I couldn't tell you. Maybe someone in chat does, but yeah. I'm assuming they're gonna re-up product before Worlds. Oh, you're Canadian. Okay, I have no clue then. You can find stores online. Like if you don't buy straight from NSG, like 401 Games restocked stuff recently. They ship to Canada pretty good. Oh wow, they're firing. Okay. So I would check other places maybe. Like 401 Games has it in stock and they have technically better prices than NSG. But yeah, the overinstall here is actually like legit. It's overinstall is like really good. You may install a card from Archives HQ. You may add a card from Archives HQ. So I think we'll just add back the Seamless. And then no joke, we'll put the Sleipnir on R&D. And then we can use that to trash this, which is so funny. It's such a mean play. Apparently they restock pretty often with the new distributor. Very cool. That checks out. Yeah, I know 401 restocked like in the last month or so, so they might have some. Yeah, I thought they'd break the drafter. They're not running last click, so the Meliuses they can steal. It's pretty good. The Charlotte's useless. I think we're gonna work on the Charlotte and try and like ice up centrals a bit. Daywee did not do text because we trashed 2 things. It was really good. Yeah, I think 401's the only store in Canada that has consistent NSG product. And their prices are really good. 401's just great. Netrunner. Looks like they have Elevation in stock. There should be more than this. Maybe they're sold out. I would definitely check. So like Elevation. Yeah, they have, I don't know. I would check. I know they restocked recently. Nothing to do. Excuse me. It's third environmental. They sold out of the core. Okay, bummer. Boomy's good. We definitely want to consider advancing Charlotte and chilling. They will have to wait. Yeah, another website you can check, Dax. There's a website called Board Game Oracle. If you search Board Game Oracle and then go to the Canadian website, you can search like a board game name and it'll tell you all stores in Canada that are part of the Board Game Oracle network. They do affiliate links if they have it in stock. I find it to be very useful. So you're on there too. Okay, well, that's the best I got, unfortunately. Distribution comes out of Calgary. They're very good. So we're always going to do this. The Boomy and R&D makes sense. I think we just do Boomy credit. LEO, my beloved, is back again. I mean, it did all right. There's not a lot of LEO players at America's Online, but metrixgo's a great player and did pretty well with a somewhat unorthodox, but not like a metrixgo unorthodox. metrixgo can play some pretty wild stuff. Friendly reminder, you can proxy literally everything. Yes, Dax, if you don't know, you can proxy everything at all levels of play on Netrunner DB, on a lot of different websites. So like, I know looking for official product usually feels good, especially getting people in the game. But if you're just looking for extra copies of stuff, you can just print it out. Again, people play at the World Championship with like black and white photocopies and it does not matter. Outermost Boomy kind of stinks because you're not likely to put a thing on it. I forgot we have Magnet at home. It's nice to have a hard end to run here. Why did we res the Charlotte? Oh, no reason, but it was known. It was a known Charlotte from the Project Incotan, but literally no reason. I did not even consider that. I just resed it. This is the she list, yeah. Clement, if you're thinking like there must be a reason why Andre res the Charlotte, no. It was public information though, so it didn't cost us anything because it came in from the Incotan. But yeah, there's no reason to res this besides it makes the board state more legible for you and your opponent. And that's like a very respectful thing to do. Like imagine with a 60 card Daywee deck, you're worrying about all this stuff, the Madani, and like your opponent just says, I'll res the Charlotte. Just plugged in. Yeah, we're playing around Currents from 2016. The Hermes, yeah, Hermes overinstalled tech. We don't want them to run. If it was an agenda they may run, that might be bad for us. So we're showing you don't need to run. Sometimes showing that it's a Charlotte is the right play, no joke. It might cop a pinhole, but like Daywee seems to be spending influence on like a lot of other different things. As much as we've seen 1 influence, I'll take. Oh, Monkey Wrench is 2, yeah, so 3 influence. No stress. No worries. Resing unnecessarily to throw your opponent off their game. I mean, it's legal. You're allowed to do it. It's good. It's really difficult in this game to explain to players when they can and they should res their assets. Like, it's so common for new players to install like their pad campaign equivalent and res it immediately. And you're like, you don't have to do that. And that one always is like a bit of a struggle to teach. Oh, never mind. We're gaming. We're so gaming. This is dramatic irony. This is good. Oh, it's so sweet. Okay, we're gonna ask for action. I know we have a meter window. I will not use that as a full consent. We will do the paperwork. The last click too, which is pretty risky. You can't steal Melius's, and Byroids do get you. MIC doesn't, which there's a reason to do that. So this is all types, but we don't really have a breaker plan. Our MU is full, which is so funny that Chromatophores can deal with that. All good? All right, all right. We'll trash it. Gone. All right, so we're down to 4 of 5 MU. We can always install the Monkey Wrench or Chromatophores, but this is the last click, and the Booming trashes the SMC. We're in a bad spot. Yeah, that's what that does. Yeah, I forgot about this one. All right, so we're getting SMC. There's a chance we're on no real breakers. We might just have to get like a Phaserum here. Or I don't know if we're going to expect to see like a mural or something. I think mural is the name of the killer, but honestly, I'm only like 60% sure. That sounds wrong. Oh, a gun. Great. Gun works. None of our sentries are weak to gun. We have reasonable gun sentries. I don't know if the deck list is open or not. So 2 credits. The Sleipnir can hit. Board Game Bliss in Canada has 2 copies of Gateway. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, paperback. That's a good shout out. Board Game Bliss and 401 are like the 2 best online retailers for Canada. I didn't know Board Game Bliss carried. This is last click, so we can res the Sleipnir. I'm not too worried about the single, but like I'm happy to shuffle the hedge fund back. Or yeah, the hedge fund more than caveat. Got the 1 BB willing to. Oh, gonna get it. Oh, they're making it a gun. Okay, cool. So they're gonna get in here. Their MU is not full, but they Chromatophores the Sleipnir, so Revolver is a bit expensive. They probably won't break everything. They broke everything. All right, so there's 1 agenda they can't steal. But this is a very expensive single. They trash Mersha, not bad though. That's a better target for Ingatan. So we pre-res this to save on mental load. Wow, Melius is the next card. Okay, so we learned the last time that we were going to jam on top of the Charlotte. We remembered Charlotte is a bit better. Funny enough, it might be not wrong to seamless the Charlotte to get click compression, right? So much better. I do also think we can just throw out agendas because like our hand is kind of cooked. So I think we want to score. Honestly, Melius into Melius is fine. In theory, let them dream to Melius is a bit better. But I like keeping the Melius in hand. No, I'll throw in a Melius. Boomy freaking trash my Trojan. Oh my god. I think we just click 2. I don't think we do anything. I don't like this hand though. This hand is kind of painful. If we score the Let Them Dream, we can even bottom this without having to use the Spin Doctor. The thing is, like, I'm gonna guarantee that we won't trash the Charlotte until we play another Econ card. Because this server is expensive. It costs us 14. And now the issue with the Botu is like when our hand looks like this, we can't throw out cards. Admittedly, we can throw out the Tranquility. But they cannot run the server super convincingly with just this rig. In terms of money, we've played 3 environmentals, no creatives, no gambles. I don't know if the saucy means they're a D-res list. I'd be surprised. I think they're just playing Trojans. I like this card a lot. I hope it's good. It's not seeing any play consistently, but it's a fun card. So I have my Netrunner cards in binders, and I have shelves that I put my binders on, kind of like this, right? I've changed. I'm not putting them in like that anymore. I'm putting them sideways because I'm realizing the bottom pages are curling under the weight of the cards, and then they're getting kind of messed up. So I think I put them sideways, and then I stack them. And that seems to do no damage. The more you know. This has had an impact, a big impact on my life. I'm just feeling good about the binder situation now. So Daywee needs to fill an MU and then like run archives, which like can't stop that from happening. If it's last click, we don't have to crack the train. We could have thrown another Trank if we wanted to, but it's nice to have a card to discard to the thing. Will be less fun when it turns into deep dives. Yeah, there's not a huge deep dive setup here. Also, we have a Boomy on R&D, so like we're pretty okay into deep dive, and the Ikoas, or the Meliuses, excuse me. But like we're pretty good into deep dive. What about putting them on the shelf with the spine facing up? Holy crap. Do you know what actually would be good is if you have a rack in which you could put the spine, like imagine you had, you know, like tines coming out and then you put it on the rack. So it, you know, it drooped down like a bat in a roost. That would be good because then the pages could breathe. There'd be no pressure on the cards. It'd be quick to access and putting it back would feel awesome. Yeah, like laundry, like laundry. All right, eventually they're gonna get a Shaper Doom rig. Their economy is not keeping up though. I'm assuming they're in KK. Oh, stowaway, cool, makes sense. So let's keep getting money and stuff. Humanoid and Charlotte. Man, I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Only one of these works well. I think we overinstall this and we just push. So, because like every turn that we advance Charlotte, cool, we're making 4 credits and a card drop. We're spending a click in 1 and we're not firing Trank. Like, I don't fully get it. So I think we can advance this, install Let Them Dream, install Humanoid. We could also install this, advance Charlotte, discard a Humanoid. Drafter on Archives is mid. It's okay. It's not the worst. They're definitely going to try and poke a weak Central because they have Stowaway, so they might go for the Sleipnir. So like double icing HQ is also not unreasonable. I actually don't mind that. Yeah, I think we just have to do the Charlotte one more turn. Yeah, we're going to commit to the Charlotte one more turn. I think we just put this on the table and said we don't care. It might be better to click for credit and just discard a card though. Because yeah, we do need money again. We can't res this. This costs way too much money. I mean, we could have put the Drafter in Archives, but Drafter Sleipnir HQ, it's like not great because we can't end the run because there's no Byroids. Like if the Drafter was a Boomy, we'd be way happier. But it's a pretty reasonable server. And like we don't get totally goofed by Burner because if they put things on R&D, we have a Spin Doctor. But I could see a Burner being in a 59 card deck or whatever this is. So let's see if they Madani here. Yeah, Slap Vandal Boomy. I mean, that's fine. So, I mean, they're tunneling the heck out of R&D. That is sometimes something you see where it's like one server is the good, that's the one I'll run. But generally with Netrunner, you want to be a bit more responsive, right? Like we've seen one agenda, no shuffle. We've drawn through 22 cards, which means you think there is at least 3 agendas in hand, which is the case. But you know, sometimes you just see one server you can do, and that's the only server you work on. It's something also like reading your opponent and seeing like how risk averse they are is very like it means that you don't have to play super conservatively. Is this a conduit deck? I don't know. Maybe. I mean Daewee likes running, so it could be. But I think like we've seen Peach Shans and stuff, so I'm assuming it's a deep dive deck, but this deck seems to really like Trojans. So I'm assuming it's just like a deck that Laser wants to play. Oh, respect. Okay, cool. So we'll put the Melies back. I think Mersha might be the best card back, but it gives Drafter teeth. But I think I'd be happiest drawing Mersha. Can you sell cards from Read Write Share? No, they do nothing. The only thing you can do is trash the Read Write Share to shuffle them into your deck. You can also just trash the Read Write Share normally, and then these go into the discard pile, but they're totally blank cards. They have no text. They're not accessible. Why playing in person is better because reading their body language is how uncomfortable they are with agendas in hand. Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's a skill thing for sure. So they cracked it to shuffle 4 cards. We don't see them, but those cards are now in the deck. Daewee is now flipped, so you can run Archives for tempo. Mind you, that Archives run was just a credit, but it did pop the spin, so it was like better than that. I'm like convinced they might be on Umbrella and Mural, considering like they're on Monkey Wrench. Unless maybe they're on like Monkey Wrench Buzzsaw, which we don't have enough code gates to be really concerned about that, but it breaks our Sleipnirs really well. I thought we had the deck list open, did we not? Yeah, just Sleipnir. Oh, we have an Event Horizon too. That's a little treat for us. Oh, Tungsten Tailor. Wow, cool. So I'm assuming they're on a fixed strength breaker suite because TT doesn't really work with Slap Vandal in a meaningful way. There's like 1 7 strength ice in the whole format. But that's kind of scary. Overclock, where are we going? R&D. I mean, that is this server, we'd be scared. This server, we'd be scared. Not last click, but yeah, this is by far the least impactful overclock server. So are they taking core damage? Like we shuffled in a Melius and they can't even steal it. Like they're very much going too hard into R&D here. The game is very much about HQ. So trash a program. So they're going to take the core, which is fine. Core's not the end of the world. We hit a Madani. Great. Not bad core damage for them. And then this one they have to break with Revolver. So they can't even break all of it. So let's see what they want to do with this. A 3-string Chromatophore is like, I think the worst case would just be Buzzsaw. So the Chromatophore's text isn't really relevant. So they're paying Overclock 2. We one send a message, which I don't think we'd mind. We'd res like a bow 2 or something. So they're breaking the end of the run. They can throw the gun if they want to, but I think keeping the gun around to break the end of the run later is probably a bit better. Daywee's already triggered. Like, it's so cool to have a Revolver in Daywee because he can force the break. So we fire 2 Subroutines. Do we want to draw a card? I don't think we do because we're going to get 2 cards next turn. Shuffle a card? Yeah, for sure. We'll make this run worse. So we'll put the hedge fund in. You have to watch out with Let Them Dream. Sometimes you don't want to shuffle. But yeah, we don't need a draw because Charlotte's giving us 2 cards. Oh, cool. Stowaway. Neat. I'm still like, this is technically expensive, right? It was core damage and 1 credit. And we got text. I guess they get Daywee, so it's a bit cheaper. But yeah, they're really indexing R&D hard. Cool. We break lock 2. I mean, I think we can push it. I don't know what they can do for the server. Their Madani is empty. Their Revolver is nearly empty. 2 barriers is pretty good. They can't move the Slap Vandal over. We've seen no Simul Chips. I think we've seen 1 Muse so far. Yeah, 1 Muse. I mean, I think we do it. I'm not super comfortable. Like, the chances, like, there's a big chance that the answer is hit Charlotte one more time. Because, like, what else are we doing here? I think we just keep hitting Charlotte. Man, I don't like this. I want to fire Tranquility. I'm just going to do it. I give up. I'm tired. Oh, hold on, actually. We might advance her once. I think we advance her once. Install Let Them Dream. Advance Let Them Dream. Right? 21 is a lot. They might not want to contest this. They have no actual breakers. But like, I could see us wanting to hit Charlotte for like 3 more turns. I just hate that we can't fire the Tranquility with Charlotte. That feels so bad. Monkey Wrench on the bow too. Okay, hits, what is it, 2 strength? Doesn't hugely change propeller math, but it looks like they do want to charge the server. We also know that they know that we know that there's a Mana Garm in it. Sometimes I like double advance Charlotte so you can pop her on the turn and you overinstall. Yeah, there's a couple times where that's good, especially if we don't think she's going to contest. Like, no joke, seamless launch to Charlotte might not always be the worst play, but it means that you save the turn on the turn that you want to jam, where you do install advance. So you do install double Charlotte. If they run it, you do lose a bit of value, but maybe that's okay. Spree, of course it's a spree deck. So Boto's still good into spree. Because there's 2 end the runs, so Slap Battle doesn't do it. And also this pulls the things off R&D. I don't think we actually want them on a remote. I think we want them on R&D. So 1 strength. Oh, because of Taylor. Oh my god. Can they play Ice Destruction? Are they playing Chisel? I guess it's a bit of a non-bow because it trashes your Trojans. But they're probably on Botulus too. Yeah, tiny bow too. So Chromatophores, they don't have to boost the Revolver. But what are they going to do? How are they going to break this? The Revolver? Yeah, tiny. It's technically a dolphin, I think. I think it's a button nose dolphin. Not a bottlenose. I think it's button nose. It's a freshwater dolphin. I do like the echo on it has. So we're ending the run on this? They broke 1 subroutine, so they're going to take 2 net damage and allow us to end the run? Oh, and they revolvered it? Oh my god. So they take 2 net. They lose another spree and illumination. Okay. So I don't know what they're going to do with this Brawn. They can Slap Vandal 1 end the run and then click through 1. I mean, they are challenging this remote server, I'll be honest. It's just to Let Them Dream, so I don't think we care that much. We're definitely not going to crack this. But if they put their Trojans on the Brawn, we're kind of happy because then this in the front is an issue for them. So they can like slap Vandal and break one of these. Then they have to click to the other one. They could run back and force you to discard cards per 1 credit too. I mean, they could force us to discard cards, but they have to take the net damage. So it's like, whatever. All right. Daily might not fire here. So they double click. So the Mana Garm is going to force them to pay not 8. Slap stops the net. Yeah. If they break it, they can do that, which is like fine. Yeah, that's good. Wait a second. That's really good. So if we res a drafter, we get back Tranquility. We can install Garbage. We can technically install on top of the agenda, but that's not actually doing that much. Do we res this drafter? I think we do because we get money back. Maybe we pop the Brawn. Honestly, maybe we pop the Brawn. Yeah, the Brawn text is not bad here. Imagine we had a Boomy, right? Like we res the Boomy here, it's so sick. Now worth it to install the Brawn from the hand to end the run there. I forgot that we could do it from hand. Yeah, that would have been way better. Way better. I forgot that was an option. It opened archives and I was like, oh, it has to be archives, but it doesn't have to be. No stress. So we can install a card on the table. Resurrect Charlotte with Drafter. Like we can fire Tranquility Grid, which is worth something. They still have to consider dealing with the Mana Garm. We could just pop the Brawn, which stops the Stowaway. But the Brawn is good. HR on table? Yeah, HR on table is not awful. I just don't want to draw that many cards. Like, no joke, Charlotte and Server 1 might be the play. It means they probably won't fire Mana Garm, which means like Stowaway won't fire. I think we do Charlotte in the table. Because now if they don't pay for Mana Garm, we're happy, and then Stowaway doesn't trigger. And like, this is just 1 point, so if they ever run archives, it's fine. HR on the table is not terrible, but yeah, we don't have the operation guaranteed. No, we did actually. So if you want to get your Stowaway, you have to make a successful run, which means you have to pay 5 to get your Stowaway, which means you can at least trash the Mana Garm and the Charlotte, but not the Trank. But we don't care if the Charlotte gets trashed. They pay 5, they get 2. Yeah, the second Brawn would have been so better, much better. We like nearly bankrupt ourselves, but at least we would keep the server. So the Charlotte gets trashed. The Mana Garm has to get trashed, but the Tranquility is actually a better econ card. I think this is better than the Charlotte. Okay. So we could probably push the Melius. We could do Melius Caveat Advance. I mean, that's good enough. If we had another humanoid, we could go for it. I mean, yeah, for both of us. Pretty wild run. Hard to tell what their reach is, but this drafter actually, like, if we want a Spin Doctor to save our stuff. So I could see us doing Melius Advance Caveat, saying you have 1 fewer click. It's better if we give them clicks here, because I don't know what they can do with 1 credit. And I want credits, but I think giving them 1 fewer click is also pretty good. We could also just keep this for the humanoid next turn. Yeah, I think we do. I think we just click for credit. I don't think we need to play a credit econ card here. I think we want to do that when we push the last Melius, which next turn we won't be able to do everything. But when we score this, we can push the humanoid next turn, which is great. Because then we get again, the Tranquility is so good. I think the Tranquility is more important than the Charlotte on that trash. Let's see how they get the money back, because the Stowaway is the big way to get money. We made sure HQ is safe into an early Stowaway. Maybe we should have kept the agendas in the hand, because the Spin Doctor makes this like drafter play a lot better. And I don't know if they're running. We saw 1 breaker. I don't know if they're running more. I'd assume if they're in Tungsten, they're also on breakers. They know there's an agenda in archives. They don't know how many points it is, whether it's a Melius or not. They also don't know if we're on more Charlottes, I guess. So any install advance, they could think it's a Charlotte, which they ran 1 of them. Of course, we always have the Brawn tax, and this server is still hard to deal with because Slap Vandal doesn't deal with the Botu at all. One strength Botu is so funny. So goofy. So they have Madani, so they can like leverage 6-card hand. They can install a card cheaply off the D set. Can't tell if they're on Coalescence or anything that will be credit positive off the raw install. And we haven't seen a KK yet. What happened? Slap Vandal on Sleipnir Run Archives. Okay. I don't know why they installed the Slap Vandal on this. They could have put it on the Madani. Oh, to fill their MU, but of course. They got a point. I always think I'm starting to understand this game, and then there's turns like that, and my brain 404s. I mean, I do think that's one of the coolest things about Netrunner is like I have been playing the game for such a long time, and there's still turns and card interactions I've never seen before. Like I've never seen someone try and challenge this server with this breaker suite with a spree, right? Like it's nonsense. You get to see weird stuff all the time, and you have to react to it. It's like it's so cool. So we could jam the next Melius. We just can't score it. I think Humanoid's a bit good. Like we've overextended, but like money doesn't really matter anymore. But this is just really good because we get a click left so we can install the Humanoid, which gives us 2, and we can fire it next turn. And with this, if we draw Seamless, we can install the Melius and Caveat in the same turn, which is like very good. So we draw another Seamless, of which there is 1 on the list. We need to draw 2 to threaten the Melius next turn. But Humanoid can install the Melius, get 2, Caveat, lose a click, and then it's really hard to steal this. But the best case, we draw both Seamlesses. It's not very likely. I guess we could draw 4-2. If we draw 4-2, we're fine too. And you have to run the server twice, right? Because of the Brawn. So they haven't put off any pressure besides basics. So pretty good. I mean, we can win this turn. Did we just draw it now since you said it? So we install this in server 1. We can gain 2. I would love to have another upgrade here to bluff. I think we can just install a Spin Doctor. And then we'll just do Caveat and say that you have 1 fewer clicks. We didn't draw a Seamless, so it's not like we're going to win. But they don't know that. We always could top deck 1 in 22. We can also use the Spin Doctor to draw 2 and shuffle the Seamless back. I don't think we're in dire straits that we need to do it. Because the server still seems pretty safe with no like functional breakers. But we could always like, you know, push our luck and see 3 more cards. Or see 2 cards and then Spin Doctor back the 1 Seamless. Never mind, tragic. Oh, we're still going. We're still going. The Spin Doctor is also really nice on the table because if you ever let the drafter fire, we can just like abandon the agenda at no risk, which is cool. Dewi wants to run after you empty something. And we haven't seen the thing that bounces Trojans. Like we haven't seen the Vernissage and we haven't seen KK, so I'm kind of surprised. Would advance be an issue? We have other things to jam. We couldn't advance because it was a humanoid turn, right? We would have advanced this if we could. They also only have 2 clicks. And next turn we can advance Caveat and just say again, you have 3 clicks. You need to run the server twice. And if it was a Melius, you need to click. Right, Monkey Wrench hype. I mean, this Botu used to be 1 strength, which was now it's 3 strength. We haven't seen the Monkey Wrench matter, but our opponent is on a huge Dewi deck and loves Trojans. So like Tungsten Monkey Wrench has to be working towards something. I just don't know what it is. Relearning. I mean, they're going for singles on R&D against Glacier. Like against Glacier, the game is not how many runs you can make. It's how many right runs you can make. So Laser, if you're watching this after and watching the replay, right? Like you spent a lot of stuff running R&D. And a big part of the game is like, where are the agendas? And at that point, again, we've drawn about 25 cards. We've seen 1 agenda so far. We haven't fired a Spin Doctor. So you're assuming, again, you have to make the right runs, not the quantity of runs. You seem to be wanting to run quantity of runs, which is fine. But if you just did that on HQ, oh my God, you're in a good spot. And that's not like, you can make that read from either the math or how I am playing. So you can make it make sense. But yeah, just slamming R&D, you have to get so lucky because it's expensive. And for the agenda suite, you have to make like 20 runs on R&D. You just can't do it. So unless you have pressure, you have to run the right places, not where you want to run. You have to run where you need to run. Something's happening. More Slap Vandals, I think. Slap Vandal on remote down. We get a Muse. Muse could get a Propeller. It's an Umbrella. We knew this was going to happen. So this can break code gates. It can technically break this, which is a code gate. It breaks all for 2, and we both draw a card. Now, I don't know how sustainable this is. Our deck only actually has a couple code gates, so you're going to need the chromatophores. But like, this is the reason to do this sort of thing. You don't have to boost strength, but this is why you play Tungsten and Monkey Wrench, because you're stuck at 5 strength. For what it's worth, I don't think there's any HB code gate that can hit the strength for this to matter. We'll res Spin Doctor if we get a Seamless, we win. We don't. We get shuffled back 1 Seamless. I don't think we do. We just top deck it. Hey, good game. Right as the umbrella came down, unfortunately. Stick art on the card. This one? Hey, thanks for the game. So this art's from Balance Sheet, who did some great art and then kind of disappeared for a while. And I'm pretty sure got a good art job at a different game company. And they're doing art again for NSG, which is awesome for some prize support. Balance Sheet has some great art. Yeah. The Umbrella and Laser Pointer and Banner all have the same sort of art style. And I think it's phenomenal. Banner's on the playmat. I don't know if Umbrella was, but Umbrella definitely should be on playmat. Hey, catch your hand. Yeah, it's very good. There's a lot of like digital artifacting, which is lost in the low resolution. Hey, cheers. All right, let's do another one. I think did Balance Sheet do the Bologna? I think Balance Sheet did the Bologna. Umbrella was a convention playmat. Banner was a CTK playmat at some point. Yeah, I know the Banner one. I didn't know Umbrella was a convention playmat. That's a good playmat. All right, Neutrons in chat. Getting ready for an event this weekend. So we'll see what we could do. We have Petty Cash opening. We have the Trank opening. We need to ice it. Lou will face check. I'm assuming this is reg Lou, not stealth Lou. I don't know if that makes a huge difference. Thanks, you too. The sand's fine. We have Econ and Trank Econ, so that's good enough. We definitely want another piece of ice. Like, we'd love to ice both centrals. We'll see how it goes. Balance Sheet is doing art again. Yeah, there is one art. I couldn't tell you which one it is, but it was for Worlds. There's a Balance Sheet Worlds promo. Oh, hedge fund, nice. So we could do hedge fund or petty cash. Issue is I don't want to put the Brawn on HQ. I don't want to put the Brawn on HQ. So I think we'll just do draw hedge fund ice. Yeah, that's fine. So we can do Brawn Trank next turn. We'll see if Blue charges R&D. They're one of my favorites. Yeah, hold on. We can check really quickly. I just don't want to be rude to Neutron. The Valenchow. Yeah, this Valenchow. Which is a side event prize. Which, like, I don't know if I could tell you really quickly it's a balance sheet, but it looks really good. All right, pretty good start. We have Paladin Fermenter. No run so far. Running last click against this deck. Ideally, you don't want to because 9 of the points you can't steal. That's a pretty big difference if you're trying to win off agendas. But like 11 credit econ card turn 1, Fermenter, pretty good. And we don't have any purge tech. Who doesn't really have central pressure? We could jam Trank and remote behind Brawn turn 1. Yeah, and this hand wasn't that bad either. Laura, how's it going? So again, there's 9 points out of 20 you can't touch if you run last click. So I don't love this run. Okay, so they know that. So we could do Brawn Trank. If they click through it, he only has 3 credits, so we're happy. Mind you, Trank doesn't fire the turn it comes down. We could also do Boomy Brawn Trank and not play the Petty Cash. We have nothing to put on the Trank. I think we can leave R&D open. Again, you're not expecting this to be an agenda. I primarily associate balance sheet with the Anoetic Void, but they're super versatile when it comes to art style. Oh, they did the Anoetic Void. That is such a good art. Dwight, how's it going? I don't think I realized this was balance sheet, but balance sheet has some bangers and has been doing it for a long time too. Like the sort of color you get off of like the Jinteki Ice from Gateway is awesome. Man, Sports Hopper's a balance sheet. What a pro. Ali's getting down a simul chip. Okay, so this is Firesis. This is Audrey. Again, running last click, you want to not do that. Because again, there's 9 points you're trying to win. I mean, that's good, but like, yeah, there's only 11 points in this deck you can touch. So the simul chip is suggesting this is cookbook. Okay, might as well. I don't think we want to purge here. I think we just do double ice. This is, oh, misclick. It might be right to push the Let Them Dream, but I think we want to push the Let Them Dream and then get the next agenda. So we'll wait out one more turn to see if Trank actually gets something. But next turn we can do like Petty Cash, Let Them Dream advance, and just say go. we'll have enough money to res both of this, and we don't have to run centrals. Event Horizon is not a bad face check into a fermenter. But like also there's a chance we purge next turn. We'll see if like a daily cast comes down or something. Might purge. I mean, maybe we purge this. Neutron will have like it purges a lot of money. I would pretty sure Neutron will pop the first fermenter next turn. I mean, we're comfortable. Maybe against Lou we can't do this. But we didn't draw something great to jam. So I think we'll be comfortable next turn. Messed up? What's that? Bueno is also getting a bit ugly. I think your read is that this is a Trank or a Managarm. Probably not an agenda. Oh, got it. Always good to hear the purge is well received. Like if your opponent is not upset, you shouldn't have purged. I never realized Balance Sheet had done art for effigy cards. Yeah, Balance Sheet's been around for a long time. Really good artist. Is this sort by set? Like what's the original? So it's been since Mumbad, so it's been a while. Oh, actually no. That's Flashpoint. It's been a while. I think they work now at Ghost Galaxy. Hermes? Okay. So maybe it's not Audrey? Maybe this is just good stuff with a simulchip. Ooh, getting to use your fencer here is really good. Yeah, because we wanted to use that. That's a good pinhole. So I don't think this is Audrey. I think this is just good stuff Lou with the simulchip in it. Which there was a couple lists at AOC that did that. Bummer. We definitely wanted that Trank to stick. I mean, we have no tempo positive agendas that we want to push, so like maybe we just have to push a Let Them Dream here. Mersh is good though. Mersh is pretty damn important. I think we push the agenda. The server is way too hard for them to run. If we score this, we'll probably just bottom of 5-3, I think. I don't think we're going to grab something to hand. We also could consider purging if they don't put on a better board state. It's like purging the fermenter every once in a while might just be good enough. We also, like, we can score this and let centrals get opened. It doesn't matter that much. Like, Hermes is good. But that's why we probably don't want to leave this on the table. I forgot that we have to start playing around Hermes now. Man, I think if you're not Shaper and you're not playing Hermes, you're probably messing up. Gachapon, okay. So I don't think we purge. I think we just score this out and then let them bounce. He can bounce whatever he wants. Our hand is clean. Mersha is also really good into Hermes. It's something we should have considered. Because they bounce ice, you just replace it with Mersha. It's really quite good. Throwing out a Buzzsaw, and that's always not the worst because you can get it cheap in with your Simulchip. We only have Sleipnir, so Buzzsaw on its own is not like beautiful. And we just score this and pass. So we have to do our triggers first. We'll search R&D. We'll put a Melis on the bottom. Might not be right. I think we put a send a message on the bottom. The way you're talking about Hermes makes it sound like it's too strong a console. Kind of isn't it? I don't think the faction's good enough without it, but it is a bit too strong. Hard problem to fix. All right, HQ's open. That's fine. There's one trashable in there we care about. So cracking one fermenter makes sense because it's not unlikely they'll purge next turn. We always discard the petty cache. Oh, they did this on our turn. They in theory should always do this on their turn. They should have done it on our turn because in theory you can get a companion or a fermenter. I mean, if you're going to do it, just do it that. They have a fractor. I mean, one strength rising tide. We only have big barriers. Hermes could have caused all this 3, maybe 4. Yeah, 3 would have been reasonable. 4 would have been a bit much, but 3 is like good. Speed Racer, they took my girl Leela and they trapped her in a gemstone. Let me out. Let me out. She cries. Maybe she gave her fighting powers to Mercury, and that's why Mercury can kick ass now. So we'll see. Like, purging the fermenters, it's okay. It's most of their burst economy. If they take one fermenter, I don't think we can purge 1. We'll probably purge 2. Probably put bounce R&D ice. I mean, it's hard to tell. We let this bounce happen, so we're saying kind of implicitly that HQ is not a huge issue. Don't hit the Mersha. Fuck. That's so bad. Fires Lou, fires Fencer, and we lose our best card in hand. That's awful as a 1 in 5. Can we swap Herbie and Virtuoso install costs? I mean, Virtuoso is too expensive. Runner can also crack Gachapon on their turn before start turn triggers. Yes, yeah. They did not do it the right time on JNet. Sometimes it's easier to do it in paper than Devil Charm. Oh, that's not good for us. They're on Ice Destruction? It's hard to tell what the Lou lists are. They're just good stuff. So that's really bad for us. Ice Destruction is a big reason why you can't. Oh, that's really good for us. A big reason why LEO kind of got forced out by Seb. But this is the worst ice to put the chisel on. Got him. Has text. Run it last click. See what happens. Run it last click. You can blow up any ice in the format. What are you scared of? Neutron, come on. Now you can simulchip and respond to it. Okay, they're not doing it. You can respond to it. But when we res it, it does get trashed. I mean, they installed a fermenter and bought 2 free turns. Like, it's still pretty good. There's a world in which we should just like push the Charlotte there. We have 1 trashable, clean HQ, boomy on RD. Like, I feel pretty good about it. But I do think that was greedy from them. I think they could have easily taken 1 fermenter and then we wouldn't have purged. But honestly, sometimes purging is good. As long as you're upset, I know I've done well. But yeah, sometimes when they purge me out, I'm okay playing on low credits and just say you can purge whenever you want. Because it buys turns. And like the turns are giving you paladins and fencers and lose text and all the good stuff. This deck also isn't running fly swatter, so like we have to purge like that. Yeah, exactly. I think the runner shouldn't be unhappy with the time walk. The time walk is pretty good. So that was a Gachapon, but it's gone. Daily cast, good. Good money. Throw out 2. Second Hermes, second Paladin. Good. Okay, so we can say run the remote now. Issues Event Horizon can just get chiseled, so you can simulship the chisel into this. Also, if we push into the remote server, they can always like Hermes. So I can't tell whether we should push the Charlotte or the Petty Cache. This server costs 10, so I think we're going to go for the Charlotte. This can always get aggression on any central to force Hermes, but we can always just res Charlotte. The deck is probably on 3 pinholes though, so if the jig is up, at least we can like crack Charlotte if a pinhole comes in. Hoping that's not boomy. I mean, it might be. They recap that they get 4 clicks and 2 companion credits in exchange for losing 6 credits per mentor. Honestly, runner favored. Yeah, there's a chance that was a bit too much. The thing is they hit 2 fermenters though, so it's a bit better. Don't push the petty cache, they'll get a game loss. Into the remote? I haven't done that yet. Only time will tell. So it is a boomy, which means they can always simulchip it back to open up R&D, which is fine. Like if that's how they use the Devil Charm, we're relatively happy. They don't have enough clicks to deal with all the subroutines, so... Ooh, fired. So they don't actually get anything that works on this run off the Gachapon. Well, no, actually that's not true. They can get another chisel. But if they Devil Charm a boomy, we're like pretty happy. I mean, they're doing it. So now they'd have to use the Devil Charm, which we'll see what they do with this one. I'm assuming they still want it in the deck. They haven't put down a twinning yet, which is the best thing. Like if they were getting multi-axis counters while we're purging, I would feel pretty bad. Also, they're ignoring the remote server, which maybe we're going to get the same sort of read from our last opponent where like R&D open, run R&D, which with Hermes is a bit of a better plan. They removed a daily cast and range jobs. Okay. So they need a Devil Charm this. And then we'll just replace this with like a drafter or something. We don't really need the boomy on the R&D because we don't need to stop a single run. I can't tell if this is an axis or not, so I'll just res this to be safe. They steal an agenda here, it's really bad because they would bounce this. Immediately they can bounce ice and challenge it, but now the event horizon's a lot better. Kato, how's it going? Kato, I was watching today the pinhole into the agenda on this felt so bad. Hopefully you're doing okay. This also breaks lock, which is not always great. Okay, so we can repair centrals. Again, Charlotte's pretty greedy, but I could see us doing petty cache, boomy drafter again. I think they're more likely to play a Finality. But the ice placement between these three, there's actually a chance that this should be a Sleipnir and that we should have a Boomy for the remote server. Because having a cheap buy rate on the remote server is always pretty good. Because I don't want to throw the Brawn at them. So yeah, maybe that ice placement's wrong. That one being my only full game on stream is haunting. Yeah, sometimes it do be like that. You did great at the event. I think you barely didn't make a cut. So yeah, that's a really good ending to that day at least. So they have to be worried about us pushing into the remote server next turn. Yeah, you bubbled. Yeah, I saw. I mean, that's still really, really good. That's a very competitive field. So like feels bad, but ultimately you're doing great. No twinning yet. Fencer's getting angry. But twinning means that the Hermes threat is so much more real. I was also utterly cursed on stream. What happened on streamer cat? I haven't been able to watch all of it. I'm like catching up on it slowly. I think I might just jump straight to cut. I can't tell. Undo click. Okay. So cracking a fermenter to use the simul chip. What is going on? For a buzzsaw, now that's not forced. They're choosing to do that. Interesting. Runner side was rough. Only won my games against AUCO. Ah, interesting. They have their breaker suite, and now the Boomy is still just 2 credits. I mean, we'll res it. But yeah, the Sleipnir here would have been better, so I think we messed up. Not big Netrunner streams, but I think I drew 6 agendas and 8 cards both times I corped against you on this channel. Oh, that happens, but happens to both of us. Ingaton, okay, so we're not on game point, but they can do some damage. Fencer gets angry. Horribly embarrassing at Rivals 2 bracket when I'm streamed. Rivals 2, like Vampire Rivals or Marvel Rivals? Or am I missing something? All right, so they put the Brawn on the outside. I don't know if that's better or worse for us. Okay, so I feel like such an absurdly fair deck, and I do not like that feeling. Rivals of Ether. Okay, I know I'm familiar with the game, but it was the wrong Rivals. So we can do Charlotte 2 ice pass. It's just I don't like advancing Charlotte. I'd rather play a hedge fund here. I don't think I've played either of them. I do like Smash Bros a lot. Yeah, now we're at the point where he has 21 credits of double hedge fund. Like I think this is bad for us. I think the Boomy placement is proper bad. We just have to res this to make it not a free run. Like we spend 3 once, he spends 2 always. Fencer won't connect. If we lose the Let Them Dream 1 and 5, we're pretty upset. But I think we've gone too slow now. He can double run the Brawn if he wants to. And we only have 1 mana garm. Oh, I mean, this is good for us. Oh, we overextended financially. I mean, this is fine. So if he wants to break this, this is last click. And the Event Horizon no longer is a bad face check. So this at least reses our stuff into Hermes, which is good. So 8. Okay, never mind. His money's gone. 2. It might not be worth to show this, but we're pretty happy to hedge fund out of this. Still has money to trash this. So if we push into this, if he clicks a Brawn. Oh, yeah. She goes. You can't keep paying for this, can you? We are. Okay. Ooh, sweet top deck here. But we have to do credit hedge fund. And then next turn we can do Mana Garm, Let Them Dream. With a Seamless, we might be able to even get an advancement. But I like having our ice resed. Probably should be easy to find like the 3rd daily cast. I think we've seen 2 so far. Yeah. And Event Horizon, at least on the back, is good in Chisel because you have to break the Brawn first. No twinning is so huge for us. And I don't know if you can keep paying for this thing. The Managram will probably get pinholed, so I don't think we can count on that because any defensive, you'll pinhole it. And we haven't got a Mersha. We lost the 1 and 5 Mersha. Fine, just don't hit the Managarm. Managarm is such a big upset because it makes Fencer happy. Ugh. Okay, he's on game point. He's hit a couple 1 and 5s out of hand. You have to bounce a Sleipnir, which means you could run R&D last click, but then the 1 3-pointer is safe. Notably, we know there's a send a message on the bottom of the deck, so like the density is not super high. We have to remember not to shuffle with Sleipnir. So Pally's angry, Fencer's angry, but you can always install a card. You can also Pally to trash the Fencer, which like sometimes that's the answer. I think Brawn on R&D is the right play. Yeah, I don't like this game. I feel like a sitting duck. Like, we're not making plays. I don't get this. I'm not sure what you're meant to be doing here. Like, imagine there's a twinning. We would lose so hard. Sometimes infighting is the answer. I mean, sometimes it is. Infighting is good. You let the environment, like, make an emergent narrative. You let the Mystic trash the Steel Skin. Pally takes out the Fencer. Looks like we're installing a daily cast. Oh, second boss for style. I mean, with the Echelon, it does matter, but we don't actually have any breakpoints in this deck. You can't pay for this, can you? Paying for it, wild. Okay. So we have nothing to jam, so I think we just do nothing. I think we could put the Managarm in there, but we're probably just going to lose it to Pinhole. That makes me upset. We haven't found the Tungsten Tailor yet, which I'm assuming is somewhere, so eventually the Sleipnirs are like 2 credit breaks. So I think we just do like the slow Glacier thing. But like we've never had enough money to feel comfortable. The thing is like they can't do anything if they run R&D. Like that's how we lose the Brawn on Hermes. So at least it's in a good spot. If they run HQ, we could lose the Managarm. Maybe it's safer in server 1, but I think a Pinhole will find it sooner than later. We also know that they're on at least 1 more Devil Charm. The Chisels might be rate limited. They might be on the full playset, but we've seen 2 Chisels, 1 Simul Chip. So there might only be 1 more like hard Ice Destruction, which Brawn's a good target for that. But we have a pretty long road to get to 7, and they can steal any 3-pointer and the game's over. Their Central's runs have been pretty good. Again, Neutron's preparing for the weekend, going out to his first event. I think this is a good deck to bring too. I don't think you can pay another credit for that Fencer Fueno though. That has not been credit positive at this point. Okay, going for the run. Not last click. That's good. Managarm 1 and 4 is pretty bad for us. But at least Fencer will still be angry. Also, Lou is not optional. So it does mill you out, which is kind of fun. I mean, the credits aren't huge here. Like, we go down to 4 on this break. Yeah, money's not huge. Seamless, good hit. Again, I think we paid like 4 or 5 credits for this Fencer. And now once it gets bigger and bigger, it's harder for you to use, right? Unless you have like a Baya bands, like, how do you get 9 credits off of this in a single turn? Or like 6. It's hard. Paladin for Taka, that's really good. Fencer's underwater because all the sunk cost she generates. Don't. Yeah, okay, fine. It feels so bad after you paid like 6 credits for her, then you have to let her go. I mean, this is our window, right? I don't think these are going to get gourmanded. Maybe he's on eye for an eye. But I think we just take a credit here. We could advance. We advance, so we could do seamless and score the next one. Yeah, let's just advance. I mean, we're playing from behind. Woke up early enough that the stream's going. Komodo, you playing this weekend? I'm assuming you are. It's nice to put the Managarm right after the Fencer leaves, because the Pinhole here is like pretty good. The server is like not impenetrable. Like the Rising Tide is a 2 strength, but you have to break this for 7, and then Event Horizon says do it again, and then Brawn could say do it again, but like Managarm Melius also works well because you don't have the credits to play the Managarm. So like this server is good. Pinhole will do a lot. Like we have to have a perfectly clean route from here to here. Notably, if we like are aggressive on seamlesses, we can repair the Brawn, but I don't even know if we can res the Brawn. So we could just lose to a bad single in R&D. Luckily though, there's only like, hold on, 6 points in R&D functionally. Because 3's on the bottom. No twinning yet, but that's going to change. I mean, it has to change. And I think we've tried not to play two seamlesses. Cast is good. The tokens will be available in person immediately this weekend. Oh, Kim, what are you selling? Raindrops for value. Okay, not a great run on HQ. It bankrupts Neutron using the Taka. May have forgotten to pack, which is why I'm up at 4 a.m. Oh no. Fire Drafter? You can't really? To get card draw? I mean, these are good subroutines. Choose a card to add to HQ. These are good subroutines. I think we'll just take a hedge fund and then we'll put a Mersha on the remote. I mean, maybe it's a Tranquility, but Mersha's pretty good. Wow. Choosing to fire the drafter to save 2 credits. I mean, it gets you 2 card draw with raindrops, which like clearly they're digging for something. Rory, how's it going? Now, like the Mersha's really good as a response to Hermes. We might want to res the Managarm here because it could get pinched in HQ, but it's not like super likely. So maybe they have a twinning here. Assortment of Trojan and other acrylic tokens. Very cool. Who's selling them for you on behalf? Echelon. Okay, so Mersha, fine. So I think we just do seamless triple advance. We get a click back. We res the Mersha, she stays. I think we res the, they don't know what the Managarm is. I'm okay making it a bit of a secret. So the game is in R&D. Happy Thursday, going great. Locked in my wedding day for next month. Congrats. How y'all feeling? That's very awesome. Very happy for y'all. I don't know how much stress it is organizing that sort of stuff. Hopefully y'all are enjoying it. So we get a click back. AMS is running the artist colony. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. I didn't know they had a proper artist colony, but like AMS is kind of the best. Excuse me. So they have 2 targets. They can bounce this. We can always reinstall it. They know it's an upgrade. If they allow us to install something in here, it's like question mark. We might just play the hedge fund to like threaten the Brawn. What the upgrade could be. I'm playing, it looks like it's a Managarm or Anoetic. Like a true defensive. Maybe another Mersha. Probably not. Okay, so we can always put the Mersha onto R&D, which is fine. So I think we'll just hedge fund. We'll slide her over. And then this is really safe. And if we draw an agenda, we'll put in server 1. Now we can still lose to any Hermes thing. We had a month to plan a whole wedding. Stress and excitement are both running high in our household. I mean, hopefully I'll have fun. Yeah, it's a lot of work for sure, but we're all very happy in the celebration. I think that's awesome. So now they have like a turn to deal with this server. The talk is getting good. Their credits are okay. They are owed 1 sure gamble and 1 daily cast. The daily cast might be too slow, but the sure gamble is good. And the twinning is actually just still at a point where it's relevant. But luckily we have the Boomy here to stop a run that really matters. And they have to deal with the Brawn, Event Horizon, Mersha server. And with the Melies, there's another click in the works on top of a Managarm. So if we top deck a Melies, we're good. The other agenda we could top deck is... There's no other agendas. I think that's it. Maybe there's 1 Ingaton? No. That's it. There's only Meliuses left. That's wild. Okay, so we're going to res the Brawn, where we don't need that much money. We'll probably throw the Mersha at them, I'll be honest. Because a single access on R&D, well, it depends if they spend all their clicks or not. If they spend all their clicks, we won't use the Mersha. But Brawn is the best ice into them, because Rising Tide probably won't get bigger than 2. Maybe it'll get to 3, I don't know. So there are 2 credits, okay. Boomy is 2 more credits. So there's only 2 agendas in 24. Technically, it's 2 agendas in 23. Right? Because we know there's 1 agenda on the bottom and it's just 2 Melieses. So I don't think we pop the Mersha because they can't trash it. I think we just tell them like, hey, you have a 1 in 12 chance to win on this run. If we want to be very sweaty about it, we could crack the Mersha and say, who cares? Actually, that's probably correct that we just do that anyways. But it's a very low chance that the run on R&D actually works. Thinking. So chat, what do you think? He can't trash the Mersha. But I think this is the last run he can make this game. So I think we should trash it. I think we should trash it. It's not likely that he wins. Trash the Merchant, replace her. Yeah, like we have another Mersha. If we didn't, we might have lived this through. It's like a 1 in 12 chance, which are like pretty good odds. But yeah, if he hits it, he wins because he has exactly at least a click. And if he hits the 3-pointer, again, the deck has 9 points left, right? 1 3-pointer's on the bottom. It's a send a message. The other 2 3-pointers are 2 copies of Melius. I don't know what he's drawing for. He needs credits, but maybe he just needs to find a twinning. Oh, he threw out a twinning, so he probably has another one. Gives a spin. We could do spin and draw 2 agendas. That could be an issue, but we draw an agenda. We have a window. This is a bit sketchy, but I mean, we'll go for it. We could put another Mersha here. We can't shuffle a Spin Doctor because that increases the odds. But if he runs through their Brawn and runs through their Boomy, I mean, I think we just put a Mersha there. We don't res her. Yeah, pinholes are going to be interesting here. But there's a lot of reasonable pinhole targets. This daily cast is pretty good. 4 more credits is what you need. We drew an agenda, we put it beyond game point right here. We'd be like, go. You have to beat Brawn, Event Horizon, Managarm, maybe even Mersha, as much as money is tight. Yeah, my end games can get pretty tough, especially with no multi-axis on the table. Yeah, there's a loaded, like, it's such a different game if there's a twinning or not. Because, like, twinning, obviously, 1 run, huge issue. 1 run, Hermes, huge issue. But I think we found our first twinning this last turn. And then we threw out the second copy. Also, if you install twinning with Paladin, it doesn't see the trigger. So, like, you're not going to get the counters this turn. So you have to, like, hard cast this for 3 and then break or install something else. But yeah, you definitely need the pressure. The Anarch decks are not incredibly consistent because Anarchs don't have consistency tools outside of Gachapon. But, like, sometimes they just draw weird. There's probably another Rising Tide, though, which does actually matter. And we haven't seen Tungsten either. I think it was on 45 cards. No. The Humanoid could goof it if we draw 2 agendas. But if we draw 2 agendas, I guess with Spin Doctor can, like, take the wheel. It's not very likely to draw 2 agendas. And unfortunately with the Humanoid, we don't have the double seamless, which if we put the 5-3 with the Humanoid, we can't win next turn guaranteed. We'd have to draw the 3rd seamless, and I don't want to spin back the seamless because it messes up the send a message. I think there has to be another pinhole, right? So we're on 2 consoles at 6, Airblade 7, Echelon 8, 9. We have 2 of them. Then Simulchip is 11, pinhole 12. Yeah, there's still a bit of influence. No stress. Oh, I gotta sit better. I've been worried about nerd neck. I've been like really realizing how far forward my head is usually. This like angle is not unflattering. I don't know. I need to do those exercises where you like worry about putting your head against a wall. I think pushing my head forward like this is probably not good. I mean, I'm not sure what he can do here, right? Like he has to get lucky. If he spends resources pinholing, yeah, we're fine. Pinhole the Spin Doctor, Humanoid, Mersha, we don't care about any of them. Pinholing the Managarm is the best. We're not going to res any of this stuff. Like pinhole the Humanoid, we don't care. Mersha is probably the best target. Yeah, nice. She's 2 to trash. She can hard end the run. Notably, if he ever just like clicks through a Brawn on the last turn, we can just throw the Boomy in at him and you have to deal with the Brawn twice. So slightly cheaper. You get the card and credit refund from Lou. We don't have a lot of liquidity. Didn't get a twinning down. Because on that run you could boost Taka. Iru. Oh shit. I forgot about that. Okay, well this sees 2 cards. We have a click left. We don't want to Spin Doctor here. Shit, yeah, we're gonna lose. Iru's so good against LEO. This was the thing at Worlds last year, where all the criminals started playing Iru. I mean, we just trash Iru if this survives. We're looking at 1. I don't know what we're thinking about. We can't steal, can't trash. Caveat emptor also is gonna be interesting as board state. So I don't think we fire the Humanoid. We just trash Iru. And honestly, we might trash the daily cast. We'll both be in the dirt. Gachapon hits a twinning. So the next card on RD is safe. So we can just trash Eero, click for credits. That's gone. I think we should click 2. The next card on RD is known. The Gachapon will get a multi-access card. But the money's not there. I don't want to go too low in credits because if we draw an agenda, which we could next turn with the humanoid, we need some money to push. I mean, we can install the Tranquility, then click for credit. That's probably the best of both worlds. Because now the humanoid could hit. Honestly, trashing the daily cast might have been right there. So we go through the bottom of the deck. It's a Fermenter. That's the only installable, but we do see there's a Gamble, a Taylor. So the Fermenter's good. It should come in with 2 tokens. So it's already like 2 clicks for 4. That Eero is good. Those are good chances. I mean, seeing 2 cards there, that's all you needed. Our density is really low though. It's like 2 agendas and 19. Like it's very, very low. But like any single axis, as long as you have a click left, can take it. At this point, also, like you might want to consider like clearing a tag because we can delete the Taka, and deleting the Taka matters because if you don't have a Taka, you probably have no way to charge the last twinning. Just some stuff. Could be an agenda in here too. We could look like we're waiting for seamlesses. But yeah, the Taka is actually worth keeping because eventually Paladin's useless. Taka will never be useless. So I don't know if Luke can afford to clear the tag here. I should play around to Eero more. I think we just put a little buy right there. Excuse me, like a boomy. And if you fire Eero, you take the tag, we end the run. I think was so good with Sable. It's funny that we've installed 2 buzzsaws and there's a big chance they'll never get used. And I mean that like that's fine. Even if you have to buzzsaw a Sleipnir, it's like still pretty expensive. But there is a world in which the buzzsaws just never get used. And they're not very good for like boosting Taka. Do you think Sable ever comes back? Yeah, I think there's a world where Sable can come back. I think the issue with Sable though is Deep Dive has to be banned. So if they print like a new Deep Dive and ban Deep Dive, I think Sable could come back. I think Sable still stunts on like mid-tier corps that can't keep out of centrals. Like that's going to be an issue. I don't think the Moosely Hot does it the same way, but I think there's a world where Sable could come back. Oh, we did 2 clicks for 4. Okay. Now the top card of R&D is safe. HQ is safe. So I don't know how you use the money this turn. AB ban list would be nice to make more cards playable. What do you mean AB ban list? Like restricted cards? Netrunner used to have a restricted list, which is like, if you play this, you can't play this. Or more accurately, if you play one of these cards, you can't play any of these other cards. No Signal Games has gone out of the way to say that they want a ban list that's a bit more straightforward, just like a ban list, that's it. But we've seen a couple like iterations in FFG days of different ban lists. I'd be surprised if you know this card. Yeah, they know this one. Melius haters will be happy here that Info Bounty Sable absolutely clowns on Melius. Does it? I had to play against Info Bounty. No, I had to play against Sec Testing Sable in draft, and oh my god, it was so good. I mean, take it back. Oh, don't do that. Yeah, don't make the run. There's no shot. Like we're learning. You don't have to make mistakes. You learn something. That's good. Sable could be on one side and Deep Dive on the other. Yeah, like a restricted list. Rohit's been developing a format where we treat the ban list as a restricted list. Melius can not call the right server against Mark. But imagine they call the server and it's your Mark. How bad do you feel? Be watching draws better. Yeah, it's easy. It's easier in person. But yeah, you should always try and know if you know the top card of R&D. It's harder on JNet. No way to intelligently to make a Melius call. I mean, does that sound fun? Or does that sound tilting? Where it's like, oh, they rolled archives. I called archives. Oh no. I'm not sure. You don't feel that bad, to be honest. You make a lot of money get an access. Yeah, I don't know. I remember being really annoyed playing tier 2 decks into like good Sable, and not even Deep Dive Sable. Obviously, Deep Dive Sable is its own issue. But it'd be like, wow, I have to ice up everything consistently before the Chesva comes down. Otherwise, I'm bleeding money every turn. And like, Criminal used to be like that all the time. So maybe it could come back, but I don't know. There's a chance that they cracked the fermenter for that reason, which they shouldn't have. You got a hedge fund back anyways, clickless 5 credits. I mean, it's still bad. It's not good. I wonder if a partial quest would be a cool card, Anarch version, if you had a successful run HQ and R&D mill 6. Yeah, I could see it. I think it's really unfortunate that the last quest completed card was as bad as it looks. That card should have been better, and it actually would have been really interesting to the meta. Right? Like HB combo, okay. Runs all 3 centrals, blow up your board. Unfortunately, it didn't work out like that. I don't think it's doomed. I do think also like probably like Anarch board states look like this, and having you trash like key card is like kind of sucks because a lot of Anarch is like cards that you install. Like Paladin got installed on turn 1. How much money did Paladin make? Maybe you can trash it now, but it's like chain reaction doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, maybe. I think you just more often see though cards that say like only play this if you run a central, which is good text. Like that's interesting text. There's been a lot of powerful cards that had that condition, and it's a legitimate condition. All right, if I had an agenda, would it go into the remote server? Yes. So I probably don't have an agenda in hand. But a card that says like, oh, if you made 2 successful runs, like that's not bad. Fire all? So notably, we can't res the Tranquility. Yeah, no stress. I think they wanted to break it because they took the Taka. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so if you want to res the Tranquility because you think Drafter's going to fire, you have to do it on approach. You can't res this when the subroutine's resolved. People miss that. But yeah, they wanted to break that. So they just lost 2 credits for a run that was not super reasonable. Like, it's not very effective. Devil Charm scary. Okay. So we have to res this first. So we don't want to draw 2 agendas. In fact, we drew none. But we drew our second Seamless, which is pretty good. So we can't put anything in here. We can't install the Tranquility. We literally can't put anything in there. Oh, that's really annoying. Oh, this mega sucks. This is doo-doo. And if we install this here, we can't play the caveat. I do not do not like this. An econ card that installs itself with a heap if you make 3 successful runs. Now we're talking. And maybe a bit of card draw too. Because we deserve it. Yeah, if we want to play the caveat, I think we can give him a click, but I don't think we need that much more money. I don't think Iru's coming back. This is our weak server. I really hate that we res the Tranquility for nothing. Like now that we're not doing anything, he can just like run centrals. So this sucks. Because now it's 2 agendas and 15. It used to be 2 and 24. Man, really ugly. So I think we just install the Sleipnir. Yeah, a bit worse. A bit worse than Rashida. So put this on R&D for 2. I don't think we'll jettison the Tranquility. I don't think there's anything good for putting this down on the table. No, maybe there is. Maybe he wastes a click. I don't think you get punished. Slap Archives in case there's a second era practice. I don't think there's a second era. I don't think the deck's playing practice because it's on 45. If I was, we could, but then we don't even want to put Sleipnir. We want to put like a Boomy. We want to put something with an end the run that we can trigger. But I'm not going to play around the Praxis. It's 45 cards. If it was like 50, maybe. I mean, I guess we'll just put this on Archives anyways. Yikes. The stack is now known from the last Gachapon. Yeah, we know a lot of it. We know there's just Tungsten in play. We know there's everything's cool. I hate this play. Like even if we had garbage, we'd put it in here. He'd have to consider running it, and of course we'd get Tranquility credits. So this is the worst. I suggest a resource that has 3 recurring credits, but the only way to refresh the credits is to make 3 successful runs. Yeah, I'm in. Or every time it makes a successful run, it refreshes 1. There's a Taylor. So now the Sleipnirs are worse. It saves the credit on the Brawn, saves nothing on the Boomy. And like he could just click for credits. What was that? Oh, undoes the Tungsten. I mean, Paladin, she's angry. Undoes the whole turn. Okay, we're going back. So a sure gamble into Tungsten. I mean, our end game is going to be really sketchy. This ice is actually a bit reasonable into what's it called? Pinhole, but you'll just pinhole the Drafter. I guess putting out the Tranquility out here is really bad for Pinel. Twinning first. Oh, hold on. So if you use Pally to install the twinning, it eats its trigger. Randomly thought about bankroll. I got rolled by bankroll in draft. It was a bankroll with like 27 credits on it. Bankroll, Sable. What's it called? Security testing. No. Can we? I think we have to undo the whole turn because I think he passed turn. It might not work. Yeah, try undo click. Oh, sick. That worked. Yeah, so the idea is if you install the twinning with Paladin, it doesn't see the trigger, and so it eats twinning, because twinning says the first time you use credits on a card. So, like, I mean, we might just lose this matchup. There's a couple ways we lose it. We think there's a thing in hand. I floating tag, though, which is probably... Yeah, the thing is, like, if you have a twinning and no Taka, there's only probably like 1 or 2 more reasonable installables. We know there's a tungsten, 1 more chisel, maybe. The twinning itself. Sindarin, how's it going? So, wow, Pally's angry. We clear the tag. You can get rid of a buzzsaw with the Pally, so that's not too bad. I would eject a buzzsaw. You can eject a buzzsaw. Yeah, there you go. That's what I'd recommend. All right, so they're on 10 credits. We still haven't drawn an agenda or anything to put in the remote server. I don't know if we can just sit here and click for credits, but like, oh my god, is that what we're doing? I hate that we don't have something to put in here. I mean, we can do caveat, but I think we should have to give him clicks. Take a click for the culture. Take a click remote a click. What? Give them click and to take it away? That is cool. That is sick. Take a click, remove a click. Yeah, for the culture. For the culture. Have a click, take a click. So we spent 2 clicks for 6. Pretty good. For the culture. Oh, that's sick. I've never seen that happen. Hey, have people tried the Oppo Caveat Emptor deck? How bad is it? Like, it had to be tested when R Plus came out. I'm assuming it's really quite bad because like this card is 3 influence. I'm glad it's 3 influence. But the Oppo Research Caveat deck, is it shit? Took 2 clicks from Kata in 1 turn. I could see us wanting to take 2 clicks. Like, the culture here was bad because I think our play was actually installed a 5/3 caveat. So this was not good. Right? Like, that's the only way we win. I think what we did was like straight wrong. We did for the culture, but it wasn't the play. Because I do think double caveat makes the remote server bulletproof. Saving 1 for the scoring turn, yeah, Thanos, but that's not for the culture. We definitely should have not cultured that. We should have done something better, but like, I did want to see it happen. So they got their first twinning counter. They have 2 cards left in the stack. So the snare we have in there, the bite is going to be lethal. Don't tell them about the bite. Next turn they have to run. This turn they don't. And I do think they're going to chisel charm one of these, which sucks. Why can't the Tranquility get installed in the remote better than clicking for credit? It's a region. So Ben, they can only have 1 region per server. So as soon as you install this Tranquility, the other Tranquility gets trashed. Its text doesn't fire. Or you can't install 2. I forget. I think it just trashes the other one. But yeah, regions. That's the big reason. That's the only card in remote servers that cares about exclusivity, barring like assets and agendas. I would love to put in the remote server just to keep them busy. I wouldn't be mad if they spend the Taka credits here. And if they flush the twinning, I'm actually pretty happy too. Okay, they use the Taka. So region uniqueness applies even when face down? Yes, it is weird. It always applies. We've seen people accidentally get game losses at big tournaments to that. Yeah, I think it's one of the only rules that affects face down cards. Besides like ambushes work on face down cards for some reason. I don't understand that rules. That's just like, believe us, it works. They use the twinning. Wow, I don't think that's a good twinning use. Because if we have an agenda, where does it go? And the answer is probably server 1. This suggests that we don't have anything in hand. So now they've used their very valuable resource. Draw once. I mean, if they run this, we're okay with it. Honestly, there's a chance maybe we should put another ice on the server. Regions are the weird one where it didn't use to trash or something. Yeah, I don't know how JNet does it. It probably says like you have to trash this. But in person, you can be like, install by trashing this. And then it'll be like, oh, it's probably a region. But in theory, I could install any card in the remote server and trash the Tranquility and pretend it's a region, which is like kind of a funny bluff. Yeah, the twinning was their best resource at like locking R&D, and they used it on HQ, which isn't where you want to use it usually here. Because if I have an agenda, would you put in the remote server? And my answer is probably yes, if I had the agenda. So you don't think HQ has agendas. Now, the thing is, like, they still have a chisel in hand, so this server is like a bit bad. They break Event Horizon for 1. We probably are going to have to get 2 bronze on the server. And we need the Managram to survive. So if they make a big expensive run for a Spin Doctor and the Managram survives, then we're good. Because they'll gas themselves out a bit. Then we can install a Brawn, install an agenda, go. The Sleipnir is like probably not worth rezzing. It costs them 1.5 credits. Probably just 1. So they're going for the twinning. I mean, okay. Gotta put their money where their mouth is. If they click through the Brawn, after they break the Boomy, we throw it at that Boomy at them. Because we just need to survive for 2 turns. Spin Doctor probably draws our agenda. So Tungsten Tailor matters. We can't shuffle. If they let us draw, we will draw. Because we need to find the agenda. Oh, they fully broke the Sleipnir. I don't think you need to do that. The first subroutine is not super relevant. Actually, the second subroutine is not relevant because they know there's an agenda at the bottom of the deck. They actually want us to make a mistake and shuffle. So I wouldn't hit the break all button. I'd save your credit. Like every credit matters here. Because they're going to either click through this Brawn or break it for like 7. They can't. Oh, they Devil Charm for tempo. Wow. They Devil Charm for 3 credits. Right? Because it only saved them 3 credits. And now we're no longer worried about Chisel on this remote server. So that's pretty expensive. Selling Bodo. Get through Lethal Jixie. How's it going? You're not wrong. Yeah, it can. It definitely can. But don't worry, our bite will get there. Impish, we're doing good. Listening in my maternity ward with my 1-day-old. Congratulations. How y'all doing? That's awesome. The kid has to start young, right? I'm assuming you're pretty tired, but congratulations. That's absolutely fantastic. We taking a core? Yeah, we're pinching credits on this now. Okay. So we hit a Nuka. Okay, so the last card, I think it's a Chisel, but it might not be. So we have to just do this. First words, make a run. Oh my god, yeah. First click too, technically. So that's a pretty good run. First word, stim hack. Oh, this kid's gonna get into trouble. So I can't tell what the last card is. It might be Influence, but Nuka was a bit of the missing influence. So we could count this. I'm worried about Chisel because Chisel beats the Event Horizon. Technically could also be like the 1 cost turn off your text card. What if we just put Andre on for our infants instead of Mozart? I mean, it might be good. Is there Sam in this deck? It is. There is. You know it is on the bottom of R&D. I haven't shuffled. So I can't shuffle. Advance of seamless power draw. The first word is I will trash my cohort guidance by overinstalling with another asset. We'll laser little Phoebe to never draw last click. I mean, that's a good foundation. Phoebe's also a really nice name. Congratulations. Was that the LTD? That it was. Yeah. Yeah. So letting me mess it up and firing the Slipe Nar shuffle ability is a thing you can do. Yeah, one of bottom of deck. All the other points are Melius's. So 2 and 12 and Sam on the bottom. Yeah, it's good parenting for sure. If I have a child, their first words better be forfeit green mail. 4 credits, yes. Yeah, Reza Plutus. Yeah, it's the Reza Plutus. It's always the Reza Plutus. Don't worry about that. Reza Bioac for free. I'd be so proud. All right, so you probably can save a credit on this. I don't know how they're going to navigate this brawn because they can't click through it. I don't know what this run is. This run doesn't make, mathematically, this run doesn't make, the vibes on this run don't feel good, but I didn't do any math. Yeah, good. Now they're letting us fire this. Shuffle card, no, don't do that. But this brawn is really hard because it's 3 for strength. So if they double click through it and they let us put a boomy back, now this can't beat the play. And if they double click through this, they can't win because the only agendas require a click. Yeah, this run is this can't be the play. The thing is, like, this could be the winning agenda. So they have to do something here. Unfortunately, it's not for us. So I can see the desperation, but like they have to, we're honest about our open deck list. I never mind playing open deck lists. But yeah, there's no agenda they can steal if they double click the end of the runs, let alone we can put a boomy in the way, which doesn't really matter, but we'll do it because it's free. And getting a hard end the run here is good. So now we don't actually care. This axis, we don't have to stop. We don't have to res this because they can touch a card. If they use the twinning, we're even happier because they can't see things. I'm not going to res this. I don't think we res this. I mean, it cost them 2 credits probably. Only probably cost them 1. Yeah, probably not. Maybe it was right actually to res it. But yeah, if they use the twinning here, this is the best case for us because they see 2 cards. And if I'd done my math right, there is no agenda they can steal. If they run back, we can always spin doctor then. It's a bit risky, but it's hard for them to run this and the boomy and that. So we might have actually wanted to res the boomy, let's be honest. Oh, they trashed a humanoid. That allows us to see deeper. So they actually don't have lock here. Oh my God, where are the agendas? We can draw once. Okay, finally. So we're not going to shuffle. We're going to gain 2. We could play around this being a thing that trashes cards from hand. R&D seems safe. So I think we just do caveat emptor, say you have 1 fewer click. And we just need 2 sequences to survive. So we didn't do it for the culture. Having something to jam matters, but I think we win on this turn. Real scrappy ending here. We're not out of the woods yet. They have to either run R&D. They see new cards, but there's 1 agenda in 7. So not great odds, and they have to have a click left. This server seems messed. This server seems really hard. So like, I don't know what they do. They can't click through the brawn. I mean, yeah, this is technically a line. We did throw out our spin doctors and we drew a bunch of cards, but as soon as we stop drawing, we jam. And that read makes you know that we don't have another agenda in hand, right? Because we were clearly looking for something to jam. We drew, then jammed, which like is a huge tell. That being said, I don't know what else they do. So you have to make a play like this, I guess. I just hope that things are worse than it looks. But that's game. They can't steal Melius's, and those are the only agendas left in the game. So things were looking bad, and then we got to the late game. I do think they made a couple runs that sapped their like precious credits. At the end of the game, right, because they're not on Keiko, all they have is Paladin, and like they don't have any fermenters, so their credits are actually pretty precious. And I think they did 1 or 2 runs that were a bit, they mathematically were a bit expensive, and or they couldn't work because of the text on Melius. But we get out of here. Seamless, advanced score, nice. Neurospike, GG. Hey, thanks for the game. You had me on the back foot for a bunch of that. The money at the end is pretty thin, so you have to make only the right runs. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Watch the VOD for sure. I have no doubt, Netrunner, you're gonna hear this at some point, but like a lot of those extra runs where it's like, oh, I'm running HQ here, I'm using my top credits, like that stuff actually really matters because you lose 2 credits, which you can use to contest. Because largely against LEO in the late game, you need a kind of a massive credit pool because you can't make a run unless you can threaten to run the same server twice. A lot of this was like a very good replay in terms of like telling where the agendas are. Because like on the last turn, I drew, and then once I found something to jam, I stopped drawing, which like makes you kind of tell that there's no agendas in hand. Yeah, I really needed to find an agenda. There was 2 and 24 for a while, so we both were rushing to find them. Off topic leftover question, Sky Team, what turn do you try to play the tilt roll axis die? Right, you asked this question before. So like the die about the shifting of the plane? Hey, thanks for the game. And best of luck on the weekend. It's totally dependent on your dice and on the thing that you're playing, right? So Thanos, it's like the shifting the plane. Yeah, there's no good answer to that because it's super contextual at what you have and what your opponent has. And right? Okay, hold on. Sky Team. Sky Team is such a good game. It's an absurdly good board game. It's made here in Montreal from Scorpion Masqué. And it's a 2-player game in which you have this like pretty charming dial, a set of dials in front of you. Sick match. Neutron, good game. Watch the replay for sure because you can hear my thoughts on a bunch of the runs and stuff. It was a very interesting matchup. Actually, like I probably should have saved the replay. So the short and long is you take turns. You each have 4 dice. One player is the pilot, one player is the co-pilot, and you have about like 5 or 6 turns while your plane descends a couple thousand feet. And each player has certain things they have to do before you land. Firstly, you have to call in the radio tower to get the airplanes out of the way so you don't crash. You have to make sure you drop the landing gear and you have to lower the wings. However, every time you do that, it impacts how fast your airplane can go. You always have to put dice into the engine, how fast you go. And ideally, you always have to get to the airport right at the same time that you've descended, as much as you can hang in the air above the airport for a bit. While you also have to like turn on the brakes and then eventually land. It is so good. And then it adds all these extra modules. It's like, oh, you're leaking gas. Oh, you have to train the intern. It's awesome. It's like such a simple system that is very, very deep. I feel like we tried to play it earlier so that the other player can play around what I need, since it's required along with the engine to have heavy consequences. Yes, it is really contextual based off of what you have, what you need, and where you are in the game. So like I played a whole bunch of this weekend, man. Sky Team is just the best. And so like if I know, okay, we need to be turning left into this airport, I will go out of the way to put like my higher number in my wings first, the pitch first. And so then my opponent, my teammate, for this was Jeff, has the whole round to know, okay, I don't have to deal with that. I know which number can go in there. Or if I have a flexible option to be like, oh, I have 3 5s and those are all pretty good at the top, I will do that last because like it's not signaling information. Right? Like it all depends on the priorities. Also, sometimes it matters about when you're going through things, right? Because notably, as soon as you both dice go in for the pitch shifts based off of the difference between the 2 dice. But also, as soon as you put in the 2 engine things, the engine moves forward based off of, you know, the speed that you go at. So like we've had situations in which we need to hit a left turn. So we want to put 1 into here. Then my opponent understands, okay, I can't tilt the plane back. So we have to do the engines next. So like sometimes actually like just tilting the plane or like not tilting the plane because you have to move the plane forward is right because the other person can't tilt it back. I don't know. It's cool. Train the intern. I would be telling bro to sit F down so we don't die. The game is actually really good at like presenting something that's somewhat realistic to airplane flight. And then when it comes to the intern module, they're just like, oh yeah, if you don't train the intern before you land, you do fail. Sorry about that one. Everything else makes a lot of sense. Our game seems really petite. Yeah, very compact, very charming. A lot of like nice little wooden components. It's a very small box. I don't know. It's great. Competitive Sky Team, like competitive Hanabi. I'm pretty sure competitive Hanabi falls apart because then people do like meta stuff where they're like, if I point this card, it's actually telling you more information because why would I have pointed at that card? And technically that's Hanabi, but I've played with people who like kind of use the Hanabi rule set in a way that doesn't feel genuine. Yeah, I can't recommend Sky Team enough. It's awesome. And it's a cooperative game in which you can't talk while you're playing, but you can talk between rounds, which is good. So you have that tension. And then like sometimes somebody does something that you don't expect and it's so impressive. Like it's so cool to play a cooperative game where like your teammate is a hero consistently, where you're like, oh, we're in a bad spot and your teammate does the right thing because they can sense how things are going. And then you're like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like it's awesome. Yeah, there's the little coffee cups. You can just like brew coffee, which is good. The coffee cups are really nice. It's kind of like bridge bidding system. I haven't played bridge in a really long time, so I'm not 100% sure. Discussion rules tripped us up at first. Can't talk about die values. I don't talk about anything. When we're flying, it's silence. The only thing we can do is say like, oh, or like, but generally it's pure silence. I don't know if those are the official rules, but we always like brief and then we go. We never talk while we play. There's an old post of people misreading Hanabi rules and playing it as a competitive game. I mean, technically, against each other, that competitive, that's kind of cursed. Yeah, I don't know. I recommend Sky Team. It's sick. And then you keep adding more modulars and it gets more and more complicated and it's like good fun. Jeff and I this weekend, we did the same modular. We had like the same scenario. We had to play like 6 times. And the thing is, every time we played it, we learned something, which was awesome to be like, okay, wait, this strategy is not working. But sometimes you have to be like responsive. It'd be like, oh, well, we have to go with the speed because our dice are at the speed. So we're going to go 2 now, then 0, then 2. So we can get around this like airplane issue. I mean, the game it's so good. It's so genuinely good. And the thing is like anybody can pick this up. It's like the rules is very, very, very straightforward. It's like a 5-minute teach. We always like to discuss stay single, move double planes. Yeah, we discuss that, but not after we roll our dice. Once we roll our dice, we can't discuss anymore. But we'll always have that discussion, be like, okay, if we can go 0, we will. Otherwise, we'll go 2. Like you talk about all this sort of possibilities. I don't like the thing would be like, if I have a high die, I'll put it here first. And then if I have a low die, I'll put it here first to tell you about the dice. Like that doesn't feel part of the rules to me. I guess you can technically do it, but I like talking about tactics more so than like the metagame. It's pretty intensive to play with your partner. Yeah, how's it going? I mean, it can be, but like there's a lot of easy scenarios. And if the easy scenarios are fun, they're fun. I think the harder stuff gets like way hard, which is like you have to try them a lot. But I don't know, just like sitting down with a cup of coffee twice over and just playing this is just such a treat. Sky Team is sick. Scorpion Masquerade does some really good stuff. Me and my fiance had some arguments mid-game. We want our games to make us feel things. That's good. What the hell? Why did you not drop the wings? We're landing. We don't do high die, low die. I think that's against the rules. Yeah, I think it is against the rules. It might be. I want to give a huge thank you to all these names here and more that support the Metropole Grid so we can do stuff like this to hang out and stream and do video and all that sort of stuff. It's a busy month of Continentals. Now, if you're off to Nottingham, you're probably not watching this. You're probably asleep and getting ready for tomorrow's event. Best of luck. Have fun. Otherwise, we got some stuff going on here probably in the next couple weeks. I think we have, I guess America's Continentals online is done. So maybe we're wrapped. Anyways, if you want to support the channel, you can find a link to the Patreon below. All these folks that are Daily Cast patrons I'm incredibly appreciative that let us be able to do this the way that we have for such a long time. I'm so thankful. If you want to support the channel, you can always find a link to the Patreon below. Also, if you just want to take a second to leave a like on the video, that really does help. As of like next week, I think YouTube is changing how it counts views. So like everything's going to get messy and weird on the channel. I don't know what's going to do for revenue through like YouTube ads, but it might be different. So we'll try and like get through that together and see how it goes. Thanks for the stream, Andre. A few moments of normalcy for my exhausted brain. Yeah, get some sleep if you can. And huge congratulations. That's awesome. Hopefully you and your partner are doing as great as you can be. That's mostly it. We'll be back. Nothing this weekend. We're going to be doing some Marvel Champions streaming tomorrow on the Crash Space. New set comes out, so that's always really exciting. And that's mostly it. We'll catch you in the next one. Huh? Awesome stream and awesome games. Thank you, Neutron. Good game and good luck on the weekend. Let us know how it goes. I have no doubt you're going to have a ton of fun. We'll catch you all in the next one.